Hello, anyone who might be here. Ooh, that sounds weird. I can kind of hear myself, but not very much. There we go. That's a little bit better. Let me just post this in the Twitter and the Discord, and then we will be good to go for TinFoil Tuesday. Hi, Aritas3. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Evotion. Hello, The Life of Mal. Crimson11, welcome back. It's been almost a whole day. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Got the theme song from The Incredibles stuck in my head. Oh, my mom's calling me.
Capitalistic propaganda.
One sec. Thank you, Jeffrey Patron, for hosting me. Hold on, I gotta answer this. It's my mom. Don't go anywhere. I'm still here. I'm just gonna mute for a second. Sorry about that. I just had to talk to my mom real quick because she was calling me about something. So hello everyone and welcome to TinFoil Tuesday. This is gonna be the conspiracy theory garbage dump of the week. Because I imagine some people are kinda into when I debunk the conspiracy theories, and some people are more into me debunking people like Jeremy, the Quartering, and stuff like that. So Tuesdays are gonna be reserved specifically only conspiracy videos. Today we're going to be talking about reptoids that are invading the world, apparently, according to these people. We're going to be talking about 5G. We're going to be talking about, I think, vaccination. I pulled a bunch of stuff up. And if you guys have anything that you discover along the way or that you know of, please feel free to link it in the chat, and I will get to it, hopefully. Captain Diabetes, I just experienced discrimination pointed at me for being part of the GSRM community for the first time. It was fucking lit. GSRM. GSRM. I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. Either way, I hope you're doing alright. Vulcan Princess 97. Hi, Hannah. It's my birthday today. I feel like shit, but hopefully a stream will be a nice distraction. Well, happy birthday. I'm glad you're spending it here. I hope your day is wonderful. Regardless of what else is going on. I know you feel like shit, and I'm sorry, but you know what? We're gonna try and make you feel better with some crazy conspiracies. Hello, Captain Diabetes. Are we getting a tinfoil hat emoticon? That'd be a good one. I have all my emote slots filled, so once I actually have the ability to do so, yes, that would be a good idea. Gender, sexual, romantic minority. Ah, okay, I gotcha, Captain Diabetes. More inclusive and easier to understand than LGBT. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Hi, benign fasciculation. Hello. Yeah, I hope you're all doing good today, too. I hope you're all safe, depending on where you are. if you're in the States and you're dealing with any of the police action going on. I hope you're doing all right. But I don't know. We got a lot to go through today. What do you guys think? Should we start with some reptilian stuff? Should we get with some, this guy's just like about Bill Gates and evil and microchips and something about Haiti. We have this lady who talks about reptoids. We have this lady who talks about the Mandela effect and how Melinda Gates is a bitch, apparently. For some reason, they really, really don't like the Gateses. Let's see. This is just a whole channel of someone who believes in, like, reptoids and a galactic federation and stuff like that. And then this is, like, a naturopath mother who, like, talks about anti-vax stuff. And look at this. HIV does not exist. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So what should we do? What should we do today? You're tired of the flat earthers? Alright, we might touch on some flat earth stuff, but I promise half the runtime of this will not be flat earth. Is that lady a reptile? Maybe. Either that or she needs lotion. We also, of course, as always, have Hans Wormhat, who I love deeply and truly. Reptoids. Alright. This has 0 comments and only 19 views. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm actually not sure what this is going to be.
Well, welcome to Tigers, Signs of Times Reports by Toby Lee Milwee. Today is May 31st, Sunday, 2020. And I'll tell you what, man. I finally got some testimony to read, guys.
Oh, is this a Christian thing, too? Interesting that a lot of these reptoid people, the people who believe in reptoids, not actual reptoids, as reptoids do not exist, but it's funny to me that they're also, like, really religious. Like, wouldn't God have been like, oh, did he, like, finish the Bible, inspiring people divinely to write it? And he's like, I feel like I forgot something. What did I forget to tell them to put in the Bible? Oh, fuck, the reptilian people! Like, was that just an oversight, or was that an intentional, was that intentionally hidden for some reason? Rain Dean, hi Dark Mother. I'm having a very rough day, so I'm definitely in need of some TinFoil hat. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully we can cheer you up. Devious Chillsterd, I keep hearing Replozoid and want to play Mega Man X Collection again. I've never played that, so. Got someone more wrong than flat earthers? Oh no. Trey XXLV702. Let's take a look. What's that?
Well,
Final Days Countdown, Earth in its final stretch. Okay, we can watch that a little bit later. Jeffrey Patron, God, just smoke a big weed drug and forget.
Now, you never have everything you need. You know, I got into trouble a little bit.
Why do they all record themselves in vertical? That's a good question. Maybe it's a reptilian. Maybe reptilians their technology can scan horizontal videos and remove them from the internet, but their systems are completely immune to verticality.
I usually can drink, alcohol and not have any trouble. I'm a pretty funny guy, But I'll tell you, man, when you drink with people and they make you drink and stuff, and you go, man, I blacked out, and I was like, wow,
Is this just gonna be about this guy's poor alcoholism? What does this have to do with reptoids?
So, we're back.
Hello, Chapomon Oregon. Welcome to the stream.
So, we're back, guys. I had a rough time, guys. I think somebody slipped something in my drink, and my wallet, and I ended up dropping my wallet.
Evotion, an obvious reptoid, says we can't detect faces vertically. Yeah, there you go. Yep, that'll do it.
Come on, man. I ran around Las Vegas for 10 years drinking and picking up money off the floor and out of trays and machines, and I never lost my wallet one time, guys. So anyways, but I've had...
What the fuck does this have to do with what you're talking about?
The first time I ever went to jail was out of the Excalibur on Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard when I was 21 years old. And the undercover security guard in the casino, they called him Cowboy. He pickpocketed me. So anytime I'd be running around looking for money and drinks, I'd put my wallet in my pants. And if they wanted to see my ID, I'd be able to read them and say, hey man, you're surfing through the machines. Well, I'm John Doe and I don't have an ID. We just want to see if you're old enough. Oh. I used to carry my ID in my shoe underneath the sole of it when I was cheating slot machines. But anyways, you know what? Sometimes you learn about life and not stealing, and that's something I just won't do today, guys. Anyways, we're going to start out with Matthew 23:1. It's one of my favorite verses. It says here that
a reptilian from the Thieves Guild pickpocketed him, duh.
Not any glasses. I can't see nothing, guys. And I don't have false teeth. So, you know, I've been whittled down, and me and Tiger's been whittled down to not having a car, not having any hope of getting a license. And now we don't have no rights or any freedom in my country. So, and we're the most powerful country, guys. We're burning down Target with all the Chinese manufacturing up in that Target in Minnesota. Wow. Okay, so anyways, I don't know what that's going to do. I don't think China's going to send us no more stuff.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
I think they're pissed off at us.
Drugs? He sounds like he's on drugs. Thank you, Invader Diz, for following.
This pandemic. Then spake.
Is he okay? I don't think he's okay.
Jesus to the multitude. Okay, so then spoke Jesus Christ to the multitude and to his disciples, okay, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Now, I tried looking up research about Pharisees, and to be honest with you,
If We Are Here says, I feel like I'm sitting at Thanksgiving dinner listening to my demented uncle who lives in a van in the Mojave Desert. Yeah? This is your brain on meth. Don't do drugs, kids. Yeah?
I think that's the reptilian race. That's how I look at it.
You think the Pharisees are reptilians. The Pharisees were religious political leaders at the time of Jesus. Like, it has a definition.
So anyways, the reptilian, alien race, guys. The ones that want to slave mankind. Because the fallen angel went and made love to another lord. And we have a problem. And it's going to be a problem.
Satan went and and made love with another lord? Okay, first of all, there's other gods. And second of all, the devil fucked one of them, and it made reptilians? Yes, please. This is my favorite backstory to reptilians. Satan as a side piece, and they gave birth to beautiful little lizard babies that take over the world. That sounds wonderful.
Until we're all done breathing. Okay. Because no matter what way you
He's a pagan, we must stone him.
look at it, the first responders, the heroes, the police, F the police, all this and that. We're all going. We're all going. No matter what shirt you want to put on and wear for the day, we're done. Okay, so and all therefore whatsoever. Whatsoever. That's one word, really? What? So ever. Yeah, it's one word. Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's sad. The education system in this country's fucking awful. When you don't know that whatsoever is a word, yikers. This poor man. I feel really bad for him, genuinely.
Written a little funny. There's not two Bibles in this country that are the same wording.
I mean, there are different editions. There's the NIV. There's, the King James version. There's the new, I forget what it's called, the new international version. Oh, I already said the NIV. There's tons of versions of the Bible, and depending on the printer, there will sometimes be wording changes, but it still has the same meaning, specifically because you can't copyright the Bible. it's a book that predates, the idea of copyright, at least in the modern sense. But you can copyright the exact wording you use. So specific editions will have specific wording because a certain company owns that edition.
Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and
It's a stream of consciousness fueled by meth. Yeah.
okay. This is my part I love. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe with their theater, like Nostradamus prophesies. People are watching theater. Fake news, brainwashing device, tracking device, and now we have a chip, guys. Everybody's got to get that digital dollar. Did the real U.S. dollar did it? It got $30 trillion in debt because nobody wants to build nothing in my country except violence and thieves. So, anyways, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All, therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after.
I'm getting flashbacks to elementary, middle, and high school when you had reading and you had to go around the room and read different parts of the book that the class is reading. And it gets to the one kid who's not like the strongest reader, and everyone's just like, the whole time.
Their works, for they say and do not. Now in Peter, 2 Peter 2:19, I don't know this book very well. I've been using it to roll cigarettes too. You're a Satanist.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
2 Peter 2:19.
Thanks for subscribing, Grey Dutch Milkmaid.
Mentions the fact that as they promise them liberty, we are in a place now where it's lawless land. And there's just, the country's just loaded with its drugs and alcohol and stuff. And
he used God's word to roll cigarettes? Yeah, of course he did. He's got to smoke somehow, man.
Judgment.
You really shouldn't. The Bible pages are good for rolling paper, but you shouldn't do it because the ink and the various processes they use to make the paper can be bad for you. Although, so is tobacco, so maybe don't do either.
What you see going on in Minnesota is coming to a town near you. Okay? What you see going on in Minnesota is coming to a town near you. Because we've all been led down a path. I wouldn't say a black sheep. I would say more of an animal, more of a somebody don't like the father, guys.
No. What happened was, like 4 cops stood around and watched one cop murder a suspect, and now people are mad about it because cops get away with murder all the time with absolutely no consequences. That's why that's happening. It doesn't have to do with reptoids.
It ain't in here either. Peter 2:19. Timothy. Acts. This book is just so backwards. Starts out with Matthew in the beginning. It's like, but see, it's the New Testament. The New Testament. The New World Order. The New Orders. Got new orders, guys. We've been bad. Somebody should have done something about the manufacturing in our country, and they didn't do it. Somebody should have done something about the dope in this country, and nobody did nothing about it. Somebody should have did something about the fake news. And see, we've been backed into a corner as the American people to where now.
Have I considered all the cops are reptoids? I hadn't considered that. That's my bad.
It's a mess if I've ever seen it. It's a mess if I've ever seen it. It is. It's a shame that our country and its people is going to go through the suffering that they're going to see it, man. I was just talking to a guy, and he says, I'm worried about Ellsworth here in South Dakota getting hit. And I said, I'll tell you what, they're not going to, that'd be the first thing they'd hit. No. China has all the computer software and technology in the world. So when
Wait, no, they don't, though. Apple is an American company, and they're one of the largest computer manufacturers and software developers in the world because their iOS operating system is used in, like, all their phones. So China has a lot of it, sure. They manufacture a lot of things, but they don't solely own the concept of computers and computer software.
whatever bomber.
This guy's just depressing. I'm done with this guy. He's just really sad, and I don't want to make fun of him. Found something on Big Pharma? Okay, let's take a look at that.
Just because it was developed in a lab...
Oh god, it's Watch Mojo, though. Ugh. Here, I'll watch this one that was sent to me, and we'll see what this one is.
Welcome to the final days. Today is September 20th, 2019. Today we will be viewing striped and heavily cratered celestial objects rolling across the sky, and several other sky and space anomalies not mentioned in mainstream news. The purpose of this channel is to show the viewers that we are living in the very last days according to the Holy Bible.
Literally every Christian generation has people who say, we're living in the end times. Literally, the first generation after Jesus died, because Jesus said he was going to come back within their lifetimes, but then he didn't. And they're like, oh, maybe he meant some other thing. And then they've been waiting ever since.
And to explain why this is very good news and cause for celebration. Explain later in this video. The unedited images in this video were obtained this month from the Federal Aviation Weather Cameras in Alaska. Each image is 10 minutes apart from the next, forming a time-lapse video when strung together.
During the First Crusade, the Crusaders were trying to prepare Jerusalem for the Second Coming. Yeah. Yep.
Such as the one playing now from the south-facing weather camera in Sitka, Alaska. Many of you have seen this celestial object, which is orbiting Earth, hundreds of times from...
It looks like it's a lens flare. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like it's a lens flare or something.
Many different cameras in Alaska and Canada. The reason we are starting out with this footage is to remind viewers of some fundamental rules of lens flares. 1. A lens flare of the sun doesn't rotate.
It doesn't look like it's rotating. It just looks like it's moving across the screen as the sun changes as the sun moves across the sky.
A lens flare of the sun is a small reflection of the sun, which rotates only once every 27 Earth days. 2. Lens flares of the sun do not have craters. 3. Sun lens...
What craters? It's like, this whole image is like 3 pixels. Wait, I can literally count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 8 pixels wide. How can you try and even say you're deciphering craters from this?
Lens flares can never go behind clouds or other objects in a photo or video. 4. Lens flares of the sun can never react to sunlight in a video. For example...
No, but they can change in intensity based upon the position and placement, the position and intensity of the sun, because there are also clouds and stuff that are... Oh
a lens flare cannot become partially illuminated by the object causing the lens flare. Please remember these...
It doesn't appear to be doing that, though. It looks like there's a lens flare, and then it looks like there's something behind the lens flare.
Elementary facts as we go through these FAA videos. The west-facing camera in Peterson Hill, Alaska, shows a reflection of NASA's light-emitting equipment.
She's saying NASA made the sun? What?
Which casts a reflection upon water surfaces, proving that it's an actual piece of equipment and not a lighting or camera issue.
She understands that light sources, both natural and artificial, can create glare on the water due to reflection, right? She's saying because you can see a reflection of the sun in the lake that means that it's artificial? That what? No! All light reflects. That's what makes it light. What are you talking about?
NASA's equipment is much, much closer to the Earth than the sun.
What does she think? Because NASA's only been around since the 60s. The sun didn't appear in the 60s. What? So where did the sun come from? Why is there countless ancient art with depictions of the sun? Why does the Bible, written in the Bronze Age, mention the sun? What?
This is why the sun often appears to cast two different reflections in the water, such as seen on the east-facing camera at Taku Inlet, Alaska. This equipment is capable of producing a circular glare, thousands of miles in diameter. However, whenever it passes behind a narrow object, such as this thin flagpole, it completely disappears.
It's because the light's being blocked and the glare isn't being a thing. The sun appears to be bigger because the glare and the... Oh my goodness. Ugh. Okay, if the pole is obscuring the point of light, all the light that radiates from it, at least those that look like a glare, the sort of corona around the image of the sun, is also going to be blocked. However, all the sunlight is not being blocked because you can still see light. It's just that the huge glare corona that's around the sun is being blocked because the source of it is being blocked by the pole. Right? What?
Our real sun could never disappear behind a thin flagpole.
Why? That's how perspective works. You can block the sunlight with stuff. That's how shadows happen. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you expect to happen with the sun if it gets behind something from your perspective? That's just how perspective works.
To find out where the real sun went, please watch our March 23rd video.
Oh, so there was a real sun, but something happened to it. I kind of need to know what the fuck happened to the sun now. Did she say March 23rd? Oh my god, how many fucking... Yikes. The final days. Cake decorating made easy. Oh no. Not the sun. When did this get? March 27th.
Welcome to the final days. Welcome to the final days.
October 29th.
Welcome to the final days.
Whoopsie.
Welcome back to another video on the final.
Okay.
Around 11 o'clock p.m. local time, the south-facing camera in Gamble, Alaska, captured a large, highly textured celestial orb for just one frame.
Where is it? Is it this thing? Is it this thing? What do you mean highly textured? You can't see anything. It just looks like a glob of light. It's like a gradient. What are you talking about?
I checked the next night, but it wasn't there. Jesus is describing the last days in the Bible's book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, when he clearly tells us that we will see these signs in the sky when the end is near.
Oh yeah, someone says it looks like lightning. If it was for one frame, it probably was.
Another south-facing camera captured this same celestial object in the nighttime sky the same night.
It's a lens flare. Because of whatever this light over here is. It's a lens flare.
This one was taken by the south-facing camera in Wasilla, Alaska. Some of you have seen this celestial object in older footage captured by the southeast-facing camera in Yukon River Bridge. In just a minute, we are going to see a size and time comparison. We did this last month so that we can know how much closer this object is than in previous weeks. Those of you who've been watching this channel know that we've been watching this large, fast-rotating celestial object.
What rotation? It's a lens flare.
At Yukon River Bridge for many weeks. Remember the lens flare rules that we covered earlier. A sun lens flare cannot rotate.
It doesn't look like it's rotating. It just looks like it's changing position because the sun is changing position, and the way it's hitting the lens is going to change very slightly because when it's hitting the lens over here, there's different imperfections on the lens that are being highlighted than over here.
Does not have craters, cannot go behind clouds, and cannot react to the light source by becoming partially illuminated or shaded. Please remember to click on the thumbs up below so that this video becomes more available to those in need
Do I
of
like
this
anime?
information.
I don't dislike it. I haven't really watched a ton of it. I like Pokemon. I like Sailor Moon. I like One Punch Man. But I'm not really versed in much anime outside of that.
I don't have comments turned on, which lowers the search
Never seen
ratings on these
Naruto.
videos, so your thumbs up helps to counteract that. For those of you who are new, I had to disable comments. Last year, when I allowed comments under the channel name Universal News Media, call centers were actually hired to leave thousands of profane, negative comments in order to discredit the channel.
Or it's a bunch of people on the internet who are probably assholes, don't get me wrong. People in the comments can be huge assholes. And certainly I'm here making fun of this, but I'm not going to say anything mean about the woman. Like, she's clearly just wrong about this. But, like, people on the internet being assholes does not require a conspiracy of people at call centers to make sense. People are just kind of assholes on the internet. Trust me.
Thanks to your tax dollars. I successfully blocked them all, but spent endless hours doing so. I was warned to stop, but I didn't. I was banned from the FAA weather cameras, they thought. My phone was...
Are all conspiracies welcome? Because I'd like to talk about the Fresno night crawlers. I know nothing about that. If you have a video or something, yeah, I'll link it. I'll check it out.
Tapped. Another woman doing the same thing received death threats to her family, so she stopped. I don't have a family, so they can't use that threat. And finally, I was...
That's just sad. Oh.
Paid a very hostile visit. I quit.
That's something I think you're going to find as a thread in a lot of conspiracy theory stuff, is that they're typically pretty lonely people without a lot of friends or family or people to connect to. So they find this thing, whatever it is, whether it's flat earth or reptoids or this like NASA conspiracy, to make themselves feel important. Like, I might not have friends, I might not have family, but I know this thing that no one else knows. I'm so important, I better invest myself in this. It's very sad, but it's how people are sometimes.
2018. That winter, a man stood up front during a special evening.
Okay. We'll watch that in a bit. Oops.
Church service that I was attending, and he said, "God has a message for someone here. He's got your back. Whoever this message is for, you know who you are. God's got your back. He's got your sides, your front, your back, and he says to go ahead. God is giving you the green light.
Hello, Sushi Mom.
God's got your back." Well, I knew that message was for me. So I went ahead and I created a new channel, and my boss, the King of Kings, told me to call it
You think she got Jesus like a #1 savior mug on Boss's Day?
The Final Days. He also told me to make these videos more scriptural and evangelical. I have done as instructed. So now you have some background information on how this
Sushi Mom says, "Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? Everyone else thinking about moving away to Canada or just me?" Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
channel came about.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Am I going to cover another part of the fall of Cabal with 100 bits? Yes, I will.
Let's take a look at how much bigger this...
We need to build up, though. That's like the mother of all conspiracy theories, so we gotta get into it slowly. We gotta ease our way in. It's like jumping into a cold pool. You can't do it right away.
object is after 10 weeks. Using the same exact weather camera...
Balthazar says we made a bingo for TinFoil Tuesday. Generate card. Ooh! Yes, please. Everyone, in the chat, there is a bingo card. If you would like to use a bingo card. That's fucking amazing. Thank you. I need to save this, actually, like... Copy. I need to save this somewhere. Where am I gonna save it? I'll just put it in a Word document for now. No, I can, duh. There we go.
Camera at approximately the same time of day.
Yeah, I'll make a command for the link to the bingo card.
10 weeks apart. Using screen pixels, the images taken on September 8th are about 14%
I did bookmark the link, so it is good.
larger after 10 weeks. Actually 13.5, but I rounded it up to the nearest percentage. This is exactly the same percentage of increase as when we measured the same object last month, 1.4% per week. The fact that this object appears in the same location on the same camera each day indicates that either it is directly headed toward us or we are headed toward it.
Yeah, the camera's pointed differently. You can tell. Someone even says in the comments here, or in the chat, you can tell it's like zoomed in a little bit differently. Yeah, reptilians. Yeah, can you mark this? Nice. Reptoids, we got that one. What else did we get? We didn't get Deep State yet. Ancient Wisdom, aliens. I don't know. Aliens weren't mentioned yet. Okay, tracking. He did mention tracking chips, so that one's marked off. Something is a false flag. QAnon is claimed as a source. Numerology is used as evidence. Vampires. Chat Baja are super supportive. Forced sterilization, population control is a motive. Anonymous. Someone demonstrates a poor understanding of philosophy. Eastern. Obviously, your guys' bingo cards are going to be different, but I'm just using mine right now. Someone doesn't understand how cameras work. That one's for sure. Illuminati, Freemasons, Flat Earth buoyancy, satanic child abuse, 5G. Expert gives an opinion outside of field of expertise. Harp is mentioned. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Holographic sky sun. Now, you'd think this one would be marked off, but she hasn't said it's a hologram. She just says it's equipment. So she says the sun is a physical thing. It's not a hologram. It's just made of equipment. So not quite.
As we travel around the sun, I'm not sure which. I can tell you that this inbound planetary system will make its closest pass to Earth during the biblically foretold time of the Great Tribulation, described in the Bible's book of Revelation. The south-facing camera in Arctic Village, Alaska, shows the craft that we've seen hundreds...
Think chat Baja being supportive is a free space. Fair enough. Ooh. 1, 2... So I need the Deep State, Illuminati, and HARP, which I'm not familiar with. I gotta look that up. High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program was initiated as an ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy. So it's like a science thing, but conspiracy people think it has something to do with controlling people, probably. Oh yeah, definitely, because it involves whatever the fuck these things are. Scientific instruments that people look at and think, ooh, that looks spooky. It's probably a conspiracy. They think it's weather control. Like Cobra Commander and his Weather Dominator? Yeah, alright.
And hundreds of times in these videos. The craft tows some very, very large equipment that acts somewhat like an umbrella so that NASA's manufactured light doesn't illuminate these celestial objects, causing them to be more visible. In some of these images, we can see both the craft and the top edge of the equipment.
It looks like a cloud or something. Like, see how it's like swooshy? Swoosh. It looks like this or this, but smaller. It's a cloud.
That the craft is towing. Notice that the craft and the equipment move in the same direction at exactly the same time in synchronization,
Oh, it's another glare. It's just a tinier glare then.
maintaining the same distance apart in each frame. The path of the craft is marked with red arrows. And just so you know, these aren't lens flares. These objects are behind clouds in some of the frames.
Reflection of the craft. Oh, God. I can't even see it because of the bar. There's something. It's a flare! It's even the direction of the sun! You can see! Look!
Can you see the celestial orb in this video from the south-facing camera in Thompson Pass?
Yeah, the light
I'll play
causing the
footage
flare could be covered by the clouds in that moment too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly as it came off the camera, then we'll review it with some contrast added. The vertical purple beams are coming directly from the center of NASA's manufactured light. This is something that just started about 2 years ago. A red arrow marks the craft that is towing the equipment to help conceal the celestial object in these images. It goes behind the clouds for a few frames, but then it reappears around 2:00 p.m. local time. Untold trillions have been spent on the technology to hide this incoming system. The reason is because the enemies of Christ do not want you to know how close to the end we are.
That's true. As an enemy of Christ, I am really trying to conceal this from all of you, so if you could be on board with me, that would be great. Satan will only give me my bonus if I keep at least 100 people from finding the Lord before the end times, so, like, you know, do me a solid.
The enemies of Christ do not want you to give your life to Jesus before your time runs out.
Hello, December Rose.
Some of you may have seen this same object back in March or April from the northwest-facing camera in Tok, Alaska. This object appears to have stripes and does appear to be rotating.
It's a lens flare. Is this lady's hobby just cataloging lens flares all day?
Contrast.
That's unfortunate.
Showed up on the south-facing camera stationary as we go through this video footage.
If We Are Here says, I'm just confused about how NASA hiding the sun relates to the end times being near. Agree. I have no idea. Crimson 11, okay, I'll do it, but only if I get a cut of your bonus. Fair enough. Fair enough. Satan, as we all know, is communist, so we are going to have to spread the wealth around. Still, it'll feel nice to earn it for everyone, you know? Sushi Mom 10, you helped me and my husband get out of Mormonism, so I think you're doing good.
Camera in Cape Spencer,
you are welcome, because holy shit, that sounds awful. I'm glad you're not dealing with the Mormonism stuff anymore. Good for you. Phosphorite? Just got here. Love the hat. Thank you.
Alaska shows a reflection in the water not centered under the light source, causing the reflection. Additionally, whenever the, quote, sun appears enormous in these videos, It is always done to engulf a celestial object in glare in order to conceal it.
It's really bright, and it's creating a flare on the lens, like a really big one. That's how lenses work, depending on the lens. I'm not exactly a photographer. Baja Blast would know more about that than me, because she does photography as like a hobby. But it's a flare. Oh my god. When she watches like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, does she just go, oh, he's trying to tell us there's so many celestial bodies in this movie?
We saw an extreme case of this in March 2018 when the sun rapidly increased to many times its previous size in order to engulf two nearby celestial objects in glare in an attempt to hide them from view. Technology is in place to render celestial objects very out of focus to prevent viewing by the public.
Oh yeah, I heard someone was trying to blackmail Jimmy for some reason.
The light source descends for the night in this video. At least two blurry celestial objects.
Considering all the terrible people who are convinced they're getting into heaven, taking my chances with Satan doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Yeah.
Objects can be seen just before NASA's light source completely engulfs them in glare, causing an extremely distorted appearing sun. The southeast-facing camera in Chilkat, Alaska, shows a celestial object very faded in the atmospheric
You know she's not a real conspiracy theorist because she still thinks Alaska's real. Buying the deep state lies.
Chemicals, nearly impossible to see. We'll go through the footage as it came off the camera, and then we will see it again with some contrast added. I've mentioned before that if I only use the contrast where needed, it works much better to bring out the details of these celestial objects. This isn't the sun. The sun isn't even up yet, and
it's literally right over here. It's behind these trees. You can see the direction it's coming from, lady.
Isn't even facing the sun. The sunrise is not within this camera's viewing capability.
Right, but the sun is very far away and very bright, so even when it's just coming over the horizon and it's in a different direction, you can still see light coming from it. I don't have to be staring in the direction of the sun to have the light be a thing. It's not like when I turn away from the sun's direction, everything looks like it's nighttime outside. The light is shining on the earth and reflecting from tons of objects, which lights everything up. It's also refracting through the atmosphere, which is lighting things up. The sun isn't a spotlight.
The sun will be rising in the east to the left 45 minutes from now. However, something casting a very bright yellow reflection upon the water is behind the heavy cloud cover above the reflection.
It's the sun. It's the sun.
Let's move through this footage. Exactly 3 hours later, here comes the sun. It's well up in the sky because it rose.
Yeah, it rose from this direction. It was already up over here, and you only start seeing it here because that's within the camera's view. You can track the arc yourself and see that it would be off camera until this point.
Not within this camera's viewing capability, but to the east. This is just another sign that we are living in the very
Here comes the sun. Doot, 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 doot.
last days. The imminent approach of this planetary system is actually good news and cause for celebration. Because Jesus,
good, I was worried there for a second.
Jesus has promised to remove his faithful followers from Earth.
Yeah, I don't think she ever got past the object permanence phase. It's real rough. That was a rough one for her.
Before God's wrath is unleashed upon the earth. This is commonly called the rapture, which will take place quickly and quietly. The New King James Version of Luke chapter 21 verse 36 reads, Watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass. Jesus is referring to God's wrath. He is saying that those who are counted worthy will escape all of God's wrath, which will occur during the Great Tribulation. The Bible repeatedly promises that faithful followers of Jesus are not appointed to God's wrath. To be counted worthy, we must be living in holiness.
Okay, it's just going to be a sermon from here. I'm saving this lady, though. Holy shit. Yes, please. That's going to be a regular occurrence on this show, I guarantee it. How long can you stare at lens flares and make it entertaining? I don't know, but we're going to find out over the next few weeks. Captain Diabetes says, I opened up my eyes and saw the sun. It was a deep state conspiracy. Ace of Base, 19XX. Medicated person. We all know Hannah isn't real. She's obviously 3 cats standing on each other's shoulders, wearing a human suit. We know the truth. That's why I often knock things over on tables for no reason. Can't help myself. Myselves, I suppose. Let's see. We got that. We got this. We got this. We got... Let's watch Mandela Effect. I don't know what this lady's all about. But, let's see. Mandela Effect. Melinda Gates. Merged reality bitch from hell. I gotta look at this again. What do we got? We still need... That's not how science works. The deep state. Hot Pocket cheese. Me saying this does not count, obviously. I would have to bring it up naturally. Ancient wisdom. QAnon cited as a source. False flag. Aliens. Expert has a ridiculous job title, field of expertise. Anonymous. Forced sterilization, vampires, numerology, satanic ritual, child abuse. Flat Earth / buoyancy. I assume that's like specifically buoyancy in regard to flat Earth. Illuminati. Someone demonstrates a poor understanding of philosophy. Eastern religion. 5G. Expert gives opinion outside the field of expertise. That weather-changing program, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, holographic sun sky.
Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, here, sending my love to you.
Ooh, she's English. That's a nice change of pace. I'm glad Americans and Canadians aren't the only ones getting crazy people represented in this episode.
From whatever reality I'm in today, to whatever reality you find yourself in. In today's video, I want to be discussing Melinda Gates, the reality merging bitch from hell, because quite frankly that's what I think she is.
Reality merging bitch from hell.
Because in my reality where I come from, there wasn't a Melinda Gates.
What? So at some point this lady apparently discovered Bill Gates had a wife, Melinda Gates. They've been together for quite a while, I think. I'll have to look. Bill and Melinda Gates. Nope, just not the foundation. Just them. 25 years. They've been married for 25 years. And this lady didn't know about it, which is fine. No one is obligated to know celebrity or rich people and their lives. But apparently this lady found out Melinda Gates existed at some point and decided it must be a conspiracy where she swapped dimensions because she didn't know Melinda Gates existed. Great. Captain Diabetes, hole up. What the fuck? Yeah. Yep.
I've been thinking about this for a while, to be fair, and it is literally only in the last few years that the Bill Gates Foundation changed to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, at the time, I thought it was a bit odd. At the time, I was thinking, hey, when did that happen?
Did it actually change, or is she making that up? Let me look. Bill and... The name changed to Gates Learning Foundation in 1999 to reflect its focus on ensuring that low-income minority students are prepared for college and have the means to attend. In 2000, to increase efficiency in communication, the two groups merged into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So basically, there was a Bill Gates Foundation and a Melinda Gates Foundation, and then they merged them into one for presumably ease of use. I don't know how it works running a large nonprofit like that, but for some reason they decided it was easier to merge them into one and pool resources, and that's what they did. It's not a conspiracy, at least not except in the sense that any plan an organization makes, I guess, is a conspiracy. But that's a very loose definition of the term, at best.
You know, but it's not like he's only got married in the last couple of years, is it? He's been married for some time, apparently. So I think that Melinda Gates is a reality merging bitch from hell. And the reason why I call her a bitch from hell is, one, because she's actually attached to Bill Gates. And two, she wears that upside down cross all the time. I've seen her with this upside down cross on.
Let me take a look. Snopes. Did Melinda Gates wear an upside-down cross? She might, but upside-down crosses, for some reason, by conspiracy people and by some Christians, are seen as, like, satanic, and they're not. It was actually, for quite a while, used as a symbol of a specific saint because he was crucified upside down. Mostly false. What's true? Based on our examination of the videos in question, Melinda Gates did wear a necklace with a pendant in the shape of a cross in interviews. What's false, according to the Church of Satan, an upside-down inverted cross is not official symbol of loyalty. Yeah. So she may have had an upside-down cross. Let me take a look closer. Yeah, roughly. But we gotta look at what an upside-down cross means. St. Peter's cross? Cross of St. Peter. Cross of St. Peter, or Petrine cross, is an inverted Latin cross traditionally used as a Christian symbol, but in recent time also used as an anti-Christian symbol. In Christianity, it's associated with the martyrdom of Peter the Apostle because he was crucified upside down. Here you go.
And, you know, she definitely wasn't in my old reality. She didn't exist there. There was no Melinda Gates. And I wondered whether you felt the same way, whether you'd thought the same thing. And
I find Mandela Effect stuff so interesting because it's the most self-absorbed conspiracy theory there is, I think. Because it involves, instead of just saying, oh, I didn't remember that way, that's interesting. For instance, people thinking the Monopoly guy has a monocle when he's never had one, or thinking there's a dash between Kit and Kat on the Kit Kat wrapper, or whether they think Nelson Mandela died in captivity, despite the fact that he's famous for not doing that. Just because you don't know South African history doesn't mean it's a fucking dimensional merge. It means you just didn't know something. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Just haven't verbalized it.
Berenstain and Berenstein Bears, yeah.
And I call it, like I said, I call her the reality merging bitch from hell, because she wasn't in my old reality. She's definitely very much in this reality, and is like going around the world explaining why we all need to have this injection that is basically the...
Do we have an anti-vax square? Maybe some of you guys do. If you do, that I'm going to count that as anti-vax.
For society.
Oops, wrong one.
Hello.
Oop, wrong one again.
Mark of the Beast. So here we have a reality blended individual trying to bring in the Mark of the Beast.
I am so sick of all the discrimination about these reality blended individuals. You can have whatever realities you want, goddammit. You still have rights.
That's where I'm at with it. And I wondered what you thought about the whole scenario, because to me, the fact that she's definitely a blended reality to me. She doesn't come from mine. And the position that she's in is so warped and twisted that it's making me question, you know, with all the Bible changes and all the religious iconography changing, and here we have a blended person from a blended reality being quite sinisterly satanic, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh
So,
no, helping people in Africa, how satanic.
Just wondered whether any of you lot have ever actually thought about that, whether she's always been in your reality.
What's this
whether
lady
she
on
was
about?
new, like
Mandela
me,
effect stuff.
and we've now got a blended reality person.
She thinks
in
Melinda Gates
Gates
didn't exist,
the
but now
same
she
as
does.
Elon Musk, he's another one. He's another blended reality person to me who never existed before. But yeah, Melinda Gates to me is an absolute blended reality person, and according from what I can see, here for very sinister purposes. So please, as always, comment below what you think, what your feelings are. How do you feel about what I've just said?
Holographic sun has not
and-
come up. She thinks it's a physical sun, but it's created by NASA. Maybe is anyone here who has actually watched more of that lady? Because if it is a holographic sun, we should know for the bingo card. She sounds like she smokes a couple packs a day, yeah. Or maybe she only did in a different reality, who knows? What are her most popular videos? I'm also going to add her to my list. Most popular.
Hello there, from my reality to yours, wherever that may be today. And I only actually made a vlog a couple of days ago about
Again with the fucking vertical camera. Why?
some changes that I'd seen in my town and a couple of other places where, you know, when you're actually... See, the thing about the Mandela effect is that some people are busy, they concentrate on things like spelling mistakes. And that's because that is pretty much, I think, one of the first things that those of us that are affected notice has changed first. It's the spelling of things. I mean, when you're watching cartoons on the TV and it's no longer Looney Tunes, but Looney Tunes, you know...
It's always been Looney Tunes. T-O-O-N... Or no, sorry. T-U-E-N... It's Looney Tunes because it's a pun. Because the initial Looney Tunes cartoons all involved music in some way. They're Looney Tunes. It's a pun. Like the Beatles. It's a pun, guys. It's not a reality shift. It's a pun! Here it is. Here's an old one. Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes, again, involves music. Looney Tunes. Okay? We clear on Looney Tunes? Great. Glad.
Notice that kind of thing. When Mirror Mirror on the Wall...
Like Merry Melodies, yeah.
Isn't Mirror Mirror on the Wall, when Kit Kat hasn't got his thing in the middle of it, it's spelling mistakes.
That's the Kit Kat thing. Oh, God. Kit Kat logo. So there's another Mandela effect thing where this is, you know, the logo to Kit Kats, which are good. I like Kit Kats. Kit Kats are like my second favorite candy, I think. Reese's are my first, for the record, if anyone ever wants to buy me candy. Reese's. I love Kit Kats. Anyway, there's a Mandela effect thing where they're like, oh, there used to be a dash between Kit and Kat. No, there never has been. It's always looked like this. I mean, it may have changed the logo a little bit over time, but, you know, it's Kit Kats. Hyphen. This is what it looks like. Oh, well, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted hyphen. I was looking... There we go. They think there was this dash here, but there's never been a dash in Kit Kat. It's not a thing.
It's these sort of things that we
Sushi Mom says peanut butter M&Ms for life. Yeah, M&Ms are good. I like the crispy M&Ms. Those are good.
first notice. But that is nowhere near...
You're right. The logo didn't change. Well, the logo didn't change. But either way, it must be reality being altered.
what the Mandela effect is about. And although I'm sounding, I mean,
Knob J, peanut butter is death. Peanut butter is delicious, god damn it.
when I'm talking to you here, I sound quite, I mean, I know I sound like a lunatic, I'm aware of that, but...
Thanks for following, Harry,
I hold on to my emotions pretty well, I think. when I'm actually doing a live talk about
Ricone.
things.
I'm not exactly sure how to
And when
pronounce
push
that, I
comes to shove,
apologize.
really,
Either
apart
way,
from the
thanks for
fact that I'm
following,
reaching
Harry.
out to anybody else that's Mandela affected, because it is the loneliest thing to go through.
Oh, I'm up to 1.2 thousand followers finally. Nice. Thank you guys. Much appreciated.
The mind-blowing things that we're noticing and seeing.
There's nothing funny about the
It's
tools of
lonely.
capitalism.
Because your loved ones don't necessarily see this.
Invader Diz, Berenstein versus Berenstein isn't exactly due to misunderstanding and branding. I'm pretty sure there have been some merchandise made with both spelling. I've definitely seen one videotape that had both spellings, like on the spine was one spelling, but on another one it was a different spelling. Thanks for subscribing, Astral Goth. Much appreciated. Enjoy the emotes. Nobble J, I'll never know unless I want to end my life to finally taste it. Oh, you're allergic to peanuts. Gotcha. Yeah, for you it would be death. That's a shame. Peanut butter's delicious. Hello, can you say hi to a friend? His name is Thomas Turbado. Hello, Thomas Turbado. Whoever you are.
Same things you do, and then they worry about you if you try to explain, because in a matter
Oh, I'm
of
glad you're
seconds,
here,
they
Astral
can
Goth.
have remembered something like you do, and then next thing you know, no, they don't remember that way. They must have misremembered.
I'm
or
not
they
going
find-
talk. Says I think peanut butter sucks. Not gonna lie. How dare you? How dare you? No, I get it though. I get it. I think I really like peanut butter, but I get if you don't like it.
of not confronting it, and that's really difficult when you've known
There's nothing funny
they're
about
your
the
loved
tools
ones,
of
you've known them all your
capitalism.
life. And
Thanks,
suddenly
Alexa Black, for subscribing.
you can't share things with them, and it's bad enough when I'm watching like the TV and there's my own British
thank you,
flag,
Astral Goth, for
not
gifting
the
a
same
sub
as it used to be. It's difficult
the Lexa
when everything
Black.
that you're watching on the TV is showing differences and changes, but then it comes to actual real life and things changing on the ground here in my hometown. I did in my last vlog. I did mention about the big
There's nothing
like dinner
funny about
plate
the tools of
sized
capitalism.
iron plaques in the ground explaining historical parts of my town that suddenly disappeared. They weren't there anymore. But then
Phoenix
yesterday
413,
it happened
thank
again.
you for
That's
gifting
And
a
I'm not
sub.
sure
Propaganda.
where in time this happened, but
And thank you,
obviously
Miss
since,
Barovia, for
finding
following.
things on the floor in my hometown that then disappeared, I've been looking for changes. Every single time I drive past it, I'm looking to see if there's any change, to see if the same changes have come back, which they haven't. Anyway,
It's almost like you just didn't notice something that had changed at one point, or you never noticed it before, and then after you notice it, you can't stop noticing it. It's almost like there wasn't a change at all. Very strange. It must be a conspiracy.
There's
a
nothing
couple of
funny
weeks
about
ago,
the
not
tools
last
of
week, the week before I
capitalism.
think it was, I met my daughter. And
Space
we went
Kate
into
94,
town
thank you
and
for
we
gifting a
walked
sub.
through
Much appreciated.
the town
Why do
park.
you think I prefer chocolate-covered almonds, chocolate-covered
nothing funny
peanuts,
about
but
the
prefer
tools of
peanut M&Ms
capitalism.
to almond M&Ms? Well, that's gotta be a conspiracy. That makes no sense.
And I was so relieved. It looked the
Ooh,
same.
we're at
It was
99.
exactly
Oh,
the same
did we
park
get
as I'd
to?
always known.
We got to a
There's nothing
height.
funny about the
The
tools
relief
of
was-
capitalism.
Oh, thank you, Legio
palpable.
13 for
Was trying
gifting
not to show
5
it, but I was
subs.
relieved.
Thank you very much.
At least my town.
How is
park
this gonna
was
work
The same.
with the hat?
I never mentioned.
Here's what we're
anything
gonna
to
do.
my daughter because
We're not doing
Tools of
hat pipe
capitalism.
trains today because
They
I'm already
think
wearing the
that-
tinfoil hat and I don't want to
They
fuck it
wouldn't
up.
do that. That's
We're
all I
gonna
can say.
tinfoil more parts of my
They
body
think
every
that
time we hit a new part of the hype
I'm having
train.
weird dreams, but I'm not
There's
dreaming
nothing
any
funny
of
about
this.
the
Anyway,
tools
To
of
protect
capitalism.
me
I know I'm rambling, but
from the government?
Like I said, for me, it's really I'm reaching out to the
Reptoids?
people that are Mandela affected, but this
That's
is
what
really
I'll
so
go
I can
with.
get things out of my system because it's too much to keep inside.
There's nothing
Can't keep
funny
it
about
all
the
in.
tools
Does
of
gifting
capitalism.
subs
I
or
haven't got
bits give
anybody
me
to
more
share it
percent
with,
of a
so-
cut? I'm actually not
Anyway.
sure. I'm already on level 3? Oh
Yesterday,
god. I have a
I
lot of foil to put on.
Went into town, and well, I went to my daughter's
There's
and I
nothing
walked
funny
through
about the
the
tools
park
of capitalism.
to go and see her. And on my journey, well, there was loads. There was just loads of different changes. along my journey.
There's nothing funny
Starting in
about
the
the
park,
tools of
where
capitalism.
the park, the actual play area of the park, was like doubled in size. There was
Thank you,
loads of new
Freezer
stuff
Burn,
there.
for gifting a
Loads.
sub.
Now, they weren't there 2 weeks ago
nothing funny
when I
about the
walked through
tools of
with my daughter.
capitalism.
It was the
My
same park that I'd
arms.
always known for the 30 years I've lived here.
Just like this is fine.
Park. Until yesterday when it wasn't. Anyway, that
There's
was the
nothing
first
funny
thing.
about
Everyone invest in Reynolds Company. We're gonna be using a lot of tinfoil. Yeah.
No, I'll carry on that.
Take my
story
bits,
first. Right, so
says
anyway, I got to my
McSqueeb117.
daughter's
Thank you very much. Thank you, David USA, for
casually
gifting a
asked her.
sub.
Nothing funny
Oh,
about the
fuck.
tools of capitalism.
I'm gonna be so foily.
What do you mean? I said the park, you know, the play area. She went, oh yeah, it was a while back. It was a while back. That was a while ago.
I don't
now.
know.
No
If
Don't worry,
shame.
you are
If it
actually
is.
seeing
Just
that,
wondering.
right?
Okay, we're at level
Well,
4. We
it
gotta
wasn't
do
there
my
the
mid
week
section.
before
We gotta
last when we
protect
walked
my
past.
heart from the
Wasn't there
reptoids.
then. It was the same park. Not last week, the week before, and I walked
I've
through
been
the park
foiled,
with my daughter.
yeah.
We talked about taking my granddaughter to the park, but not today.
I feel
It was
like
the same
I feel like a
park.
shitty version of the
Hadn't
Tin
been. If it
Man.
looked like that, I would have questioned it. Not last week, but the week before. So,
I don't know how.
there's
Foil
my
bib.
daughter. She answered my question for me. I didn't have to say anything. I just said, when did the park get bigger? And she
Oh
said,
god, Crimson 11,
"Sometime
thank you
ago."
for gifting a
Don't worry,
bunch
you
of
are actually
subs.
seeing
God
that.
damn, 10.
But it
Holy
wasn't
shit.
there.
Rick
Not last
Snort
week, the
says
week before.
more
It was the same
tinfoil
park
with
that I
200
always known.
bits.
And
Oh my
had
goodness.
It looked like this. I'd have questioned
All
it
the foil,
then.
Crimson 11 says.
Obviously, there's no point taking it any further with my
Lovely.
daughter. She,
Ah!
as far as she's concerned, it's always been there. So, well, been there for
Nothing funny about
a
the
number
tools
of
of capitalism.
years, I think.
David USA,
So,
200
No
bits.
point
Baja
taking it any
Blast,
further. You see, that's the
protect.
difficulty. I actually walked through that park, not last week, the week before, with my daughter. It wasn't there. Now to her, it
Nothing
always has
funny
been.
about the tools of capitalism.
Then there was, I mean, I've got photographs.
You're preparing
of all
me
this. I
for the
just hope I can
oven.
keep them. You see, this is the thing about YouTube. It's brilliant,
That
but
was
we
the
can't
plan all
share with
along.
each
Why do
other.
you guys think
We
of
There's
need
nothing funny about the
something.
You're
tools of
vegan. I
capitalism.
don't
Facebook
consent.
Or something where we can get
I
together,
just
we can talk. I mean,
played you,
I've
love.
tried with
Oh.
Facebook, but quite a lot of places let
Uh,
non-affected
I
people
see.
come in, and then you spend your time trying to defend yourself, and I'm not defending myself to
Baja
anybody.
Blast, protect
I'm not.
Hannah.
I know what's
200
happening.
bits, thank you.
And I know
I always
that you
protect
out there that
Hannah.
are
I'd
affected,
do anything
you
to
can see the
protect
same
her.
things that I can.
There's nothing funny about
Maybe not in the
tools
same
of
town,
capitalism.
obviously, but the same things. So the next thing that had changed was a whole business had arrived.
I really hope a
business full of
lightning
mobile
storm
homes,
doesn't
big
whip
mobile
up
homes,
anytime soon, otherwise I'm getting fucking fried.
right outside the council offices.
Jokes.
The town council
Jokes.
offices. Directly across the road is now this massive
Tools of capitalism.
I'm sorry my jokes aren't
of
scientifically
mobile
accurate.
homes, which
We
wasn't
can't
there.
all be
And
Dan
that wasn't there
Aykroyd.
a month ago, because I remember seeing my husband down at the bottom of there when I was with my other daughter, and we waved at each other.
Foil
And had
shades
they
to
been there a
protect
month ago,
eyes.
I would
David
have
USA
questioned
94.
when that business
I guess you could
had
get my
happened.
sunglasses that you
So
got
I
me
know
and foil them a little
But
bit.
that's new, because
We have
yet
to get
again,
to
I
200%
remember
of the level 5
my
hyper
daughter
training.
waving to my husband,
Okay.
Capitalism.
and we'd seen him. So,
Eh.
oh, Jen, are you there? Oh, this is the first time I've ever spoken live to anybody. Mwah. Sending you love and hugs,
Fantastic.
honey. Sending you love and hugs. Because no, I don't want to belong to this club. It's shit. It's shit. It's absolutely shit. Things are
Where's this? There's nothing funny about the tools of
There's
capitalism
nothing
from.
funny
It
about
comes
the
from
tools
a
of capitalism.
capitalist propaganda I watched on stream a few streams back. Basically it involves going to the World's Fair and talking about how capitalism is fantastic and the antagonist is a communist who says stuff like that.
changing in front of my eyes. I walked up.
Oh, Sushi Mom says, I have good news. My buddy finally unsubbed from Jeremy over him making fun of the of Black Lives Matter. Great, good. Fuck Jeremy. Don't go outside? No, don't worry. I never go outside. I just have a series of tunnels under the city that I use to get from place to place. It's very efficient.
The tunnel is my car.
They don't need to know the secrets of my tunnel.
The next bit.
It's an above-ground tunnel with wheels. Okay? It's Elon Musk invented it. What is it, Jeremy? The quartering.
And I got to the town's
200% of the
police
hype train
station,
next? I'm
and right
very
next to
slow.
Nope,
it
we're
was
only
the
at
bit- is the
120%.
building
Come on,
where
guys,
it used
it's
to be
only
the
25
old
seconds
council
left.
building was right there. It's gone.
No
Completely
shades
and
for me.
utterly gone. Gone.
I've already
Gone.
started. You
Jen,
can't let
thank you.
my hard work go to waste.
See, this is marvellous.
What's my
I'm
superhero
talking to
name?
you.
About the tools of
Foil Lass.
Foil ass.
123 of the hype
It's
train.
almost like foil ass.
Sure. Space Kate 94 with 100 bits. Very editorial
There's
look,
nothing
Hannah. I
funny
love
about
it.
the tools of
Jeffrey
capitalism.
Patron gifting 2 subs. Arenas 3, The Secrets of My Tunnel. What are we going to learn this week? Not bad. Fuck it. Close enough.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
I'll wear the foil shades. Emotes are being delivered to followers. Hooray!
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Thank you, Phoenix 413 for gifting a sub. Choo choo. Yes. What a hype train. You're all so wonderful.
There's
Thank
nothing
you very
funny
much.
about the tools of capitalism.
I think, thank God, we need to find a way of keeping in contact with each other. We need to do something like this, because you can talk to each
There's
other
nothing
on
funny about
something
the
like
tools of
this, but
capitalism.
I want to share
Thanks
the
for
photographs
following,
I've
Astral
got.
Goth.
I talk so I can say, look, this wasn't there. So, yeah, this is basic.
Okay, what can we watch next?
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
We've got this guy who was a thing about COVID-19. Yeah, let's watch this guy. His channel name is Neil Whitman. He's also called Old Soldier. So he was in the military. Oh yeah, foil shades. Oh, it's got a little antenna so I can receive transmissions from the mothership. Good. Good. Yep, that'll do it. Mia is bored, and once again I'm going to listen to you talk until I fall asleep. It's after midnight here in Sweden. Oh good, well I hope my sultry tones can...
Hannah does have a wonderful voice.
Captain Diabetes, we need to find a way to keep in touch with each other, like on a device you can talk to or something. Oh boy. This is a lot of foil. I feel so crinkly. I can't move my hands, so... Alright, is it secure?
I'm just crinkling it for the ASMR.
Lovely.
I guess we'll see if it's secure by the end of the stream.
Yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. Hopefully the whole time. That's my goal, is to leave it on the whole time, but I have to move very
Nothing
little.
funny about the tools of capitalism.
Alright. Thank you, Knob J, for gifting a sub. Much appreciated.
Thanks, chat. You guys rock.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Let's talk conspiracy theories.
This guy looks like Sargon and Tim Allen were combined when our dimensions fused together. Yeah. True. True, true.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Let's talk about...
Arenas 3, in the least weird way possible, I fall asleep to the lovely tones of you and Jake most nights. Well, hey, that's what we're doing it for. However you want to use our entertainment, go for it.
Bill Gates and microchips and vaccines and the World Health Organization and this secret endeavor to try and steal away your freedoms. Let's talk about 5G mind...
Ooh, he sounds Canadian. He sounded like he just said talk a boot. Oh god. I gotta push the glasses on my face more. I'll use the microphone. Ha ha ha! Who says tool using is just for apes? I am a reptilian, secretly. Don't tell anyone, please.
control and...
Oh, 5G! He did say 5G! 5G. Marked off.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Hold on. Where did it go? Where did it go? There he is. Thank you, Invader Diz, for the 1-bit. Manger Babies review when? Manger Babies. What's the Manger Babies? I'm not... Manger Babies. Isn't that the fake puppet? The fake TV show Luann puts on in King of the Hill?
shadowy cabals of people meeting in secret to have sexual cult-like orgies with Mr. Epstein. Let's talk about China and their facial recognition system and AI takeover of our very means of going about our daily lives. And let's talk about these things because they're everywhere. They're in every little bit of media. They're on every Facebook page. And let's get down to the root of these things and see what we have to see about them. But before we do, let's look at a little island in the Caribbean. An island that is really only half an island, a nation on an island that is split in half, and that half of that island is called Haiti.
Okay, but it's an island, right? Oh god, it's hard to type with this. That's
right, capitalistic propaganda.
Thank you to Princess Fia for following. Haiti. What's it look like? Oh yeah, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. There we go. So he's specifically talking about Haiti and not the Dominican Republic for some reason. Interesting.
Now in 2004, I was sent to Haiti.
Is that an entire foil suit? You're goddamn right it is. You think I'm gonna let these reptoids get to me? No.
He is a platoon commander, leading 30 troops in a stability operation that was designed to bring peace and security to a failed nation. We had gone down there as part of a NATO emergency stability operation that was being led by the United States, and we were there in Canada, as was France. And then it was taken over by the United Nations and subsequently failed. Well, why were we there? And that's an interesting question. I know why we were there, because terrible things were happening every day in that country. I started down in a little place called Port-au-Prince, which is the capital of Haiti and a sizable city. And when we were in Port-au-Prince, you saw terrible, dismaying lack of any regard for human life every day. And even for the basic, fundamental personal comforts that ought to be afforded yourself.
Yeah, they're poor, dude. They're poor. It sounds like you're just surprised that the people in Haiti are poor. Yep. It's really unfortunate.
When you walk down the street in Haiti, the stench was incredible.
Yeah, I'd imagine they don't have the most up-to-date indoor plumbing, if any indoor plumbing at all in many areas. It's like a third world country, dude. What do you expect?
There was decaying meat and flesh everywhere. There was no garbage removal. People literally dumped their garbage and human waste into the street directly in front of the front door of their house.
Yeah, that happened in Europe for a long time, too, before we understood, like, germ theory and stuff. And even then, people didn't really care because convenience tends to come above actual action for things. Just look at climate change and how we refuse to do anything about that, despite the fact that the evidence points to it being a danger. People everywhere make dumb decisions for the sake of convenience.
Where that you went, the expectation was that eventually...
The history of Haiti is heartbreaking. Oh, I'm sure it is. I know that it began after a slave revolt, and then I'd imagine the United States probably didn't treat them well ever because of that. When's Charisma Saves this week? I think we're doing it Thursday. From what little I know, Haiti got fucked from the French. Sure. Let's see. I have the best 5G conspiracy. Let me... Flat Earthers for Brexit. Oh, God. Please be a joke. Gingers are threatened to... 13 times more likely to give you corona, as their, wrong spelling of their, hair is more absorbent of 5G signals, meaning they emit more viral luces. This has got to be a parody account. That's a parody account. Nobody makes this many spelling mistakes in one post without it being intentional. It is funny, though.
The rain would come and wash it down into the bay. And to a degree, that was true as the rainy season came. But then down in the basin, you had...
Haiti is the worst side of the island as far as land is concerned. I assume you mean for, like, farming and stuff? And natural resources?
Garbage of such magnitude that the highway itself was unusable. Under 6 to 12 feet of garbage everywhere. There's a town inside of Port-au-Prince called Cité Soleil, which is a terrible, poverty-stricken slum that is built atop a peninsula of some 60 acres of garbage.
All right, you
that
hate
wasn't
Haiti.
there
We
in
get
64.
it. Get to the conspiracy.
And this is just the garbage that is washed off the hillside, all of the plastic and such, and people have built their houses on top of this dump. And the children walk through from house to house, wading through human waste and vile, rotting carcasses as they simply navigate their way to and from their home. This is a place where, when the investigator came to see what was the appropriate compensation for hardship, our CINIC team, which takes care of the support to local charity, etc., took them along with them on their daily routine.
Phoenix
and
413,
as
the
they
fact
went
that
to
Haiti was
visit
an all-black country
the
that
morgue,
asked America for help in the 1800s, yeah, that probably didn't
they
go
were
very well,
visiting
did
the
it?
morgue because the cooling unit had failed. And you go into this place, and the stench of rotting bodies, of
All right,
course,
I'm going to
was
skip ahead
tremendous.
because, yeah, we know Haiti has terrible
And there
conditions
was a
due to a
river
variety of
of
historical factors.
decaying human
We don't need you to
waste
just shit on them constantly
pouring
for no
out
reason.
of the front door of the morgue.
Kalika333, thank
And
you
as
for
they
following.
went in, and so they stopped the car, the Jeep, and my company commander got out and called for a body recovery, so that there was absolute anarchy and violence. Managing to retrieve this fascinating specimen from people more wild than they are black.
Oh no! What?
And praised it as a much more exciting animal exhibit than the giraffes and ostriches even. And that tells you everything you need to know right now.
Nope, I need
It's
to
a
go back
horrible
and hear what the context of that bullshit
was put up. The local paper praised.
Is he talking about that really fucked up time that a zoo had black people as an exhibit? Which really happened? Go ahead and look it up. It's awful.
And then subsequently was moved about until it ended up in a town in Spain. In 1830, El Negro. Now, bear with me. This is the title. It's a Spanish museum exhibit, which only recently was returned to its native country for proper handling, let's say.
He talks really slow.
El Negro was a Tswana man whose body had been taken by a man named Jules Verreau, a French dealer in naturalia, in 1831.
God. They stole a guy's fucking corpse because he was black and they wanted to display it? Like, oh, come ogle at this person who's a different race than you. Fuck you, people in the past. Jesus Christ.
Taxidermied and put in a museum in France, and then subsequently was moved about until it ended up in a town in Spain. When this exhibit of a human being that had been taxidermied and put into a pose as a warrior...
Wait, why did he air quotes human being? He was a fucking human being, you piece of shit. Don't fucking air quotes human being, you sack of fucking trash. Once we're done with this, I'm reporting this video. Fuck this guy.
Was put up. The local paper praised the bravery of Mr. Verreau for managing to retrieve this fascinating specimen from people more wild than they are black, and praised it as a much more exciting animal exhibit than the giraffes and ostriches even. And that tells you everything you need to know right now. It's a horrible story, but it's a story of not only one man's vile behavior like a serial killer who does things that people don't know about, it tells you a story about the acceptance of that behavior as laudable, not even something to be frowned upon. Because collectively, people considered that if you were black, you were sub-evolved and a subhuman person.
Okay, but like the way you said that made it sound like you think that too. You're right. You realize that, right?
Now, you might want to look at the colonial and slave trade that goes even farther back than, obviously, the 1800s, and you might want to note that there was evil in the church's colonialism, and, yeah, I mean, true, right? But there's a big difference here when you have to step back and realize that when the early colonists went and subjugated places in Africa, North America, and India and the Far East, they went with a mentality that these cultures were inferior, and they went with the mentality of trying to bring their culture and change these people for the better.
Okay, that doesn't matter, though, because they fucking killed tons of people and discriminated against them and treated them like subhumans. I don't care why they were doing it.
Understand that at least they thought them humans worthy to worship their god.
What size do I normally wear for jackets? That's a good question. I'm still not I'm losing weight right now, so it's tough to say. Be safe and get like an extra large, probably. I'm losing weight. I'm almost 10 pounds down at this point, but...
Now, it wasn't always pretty. It was often quite evil. But it was still a far cry from what came when people were treated as animals, and cunning animals that were at least able to work the field, if nothing else, and to be murdered with no concern, or stain upon your conscience and used as you saw fit because they were not even truly human beings. Now that is a conspiracy of epic proportions. How were the majority of Caucasian Europeans convinced that they were a superior race and that all other humans were subhuman animal-like beings?
Because people are tribalistic pieces of shit.
Who did this? Who was it that oversaw this shadowy conspiracy to change the minds of people and alter their thinking so that they would even keep the missionaries away lest they convince people that they had worth? The East India Trading Company did that. They wanted nothing of the church in India because the church might come in and convince these people that they were actually their equals, and that was to be stopped because then they couldn't be exploited as completely.
Look, I'm not saying the ruling class tends to help in terms of racial harmony, but people don't necessarily need coaxing to be prejudiced. A lot of people, most people, have prejudice to some extent because we fear what we don't understand. And when you're introduced to a group of people who look different than you, have different cultural traditions than you, a lot of people have a knee-jerk reaction that, oh, we must be superior, because otherwise you have to call into question all the things that you take for granted about your own culture.
Right.
By saying, oh, there's people who do things differently. It's not better or worse, it's just different. So people, especially back then, with a lack of education and a lack of understanding of how people all around the world have different beliefs and different cultural systems, they tended to lean on the side of racist. That's how it was. It's how it is, still today often. It's shitty, and we have to do everything in our power to correct that. But what is the point you're getting at, my guy?
How did that change happen? Who led it? Who was overseeing this tyrannical, awful conspiracy? Because if you want to look at it, it was that treatment, that subhuman treatment that led to the Haitian Revolt, and it was the trauma and the brokenness from that led to the subsequent counter-revolts and the revolt after that and the revolt after that and the constant rebellions and fighting and the instability that has marked Haiti for all of its life. How is it that they have continued not to ever get out of that cycle of violence and hatred and total disdain for human life? What is going on there? Is it that the Americans are still part of some shadowy organization that's trying to destroy the lives of Haitians? What's causing this? What's leading to it? No. I'm not going to answer that question right now.
Answer it!
On that.
What is this
But
video
let's talk
about?
about Bill Gates. Let's talk about microchips.
Here we
Let's
go.
talk about the World Health Organization and all that NOS. What is going on with this stuff? What is the what is the effort that is at work here to try to undermine your freedoms? What is this stuff that people would try and change the world so that there's always more regulation and more power at the top and so on and so forth? Well, I think that it bears mentioning that if you want to talk about Bill Gates and microchips, that Bill Gates did say that he wants to have digital vaccines certificates for people. He did not actually ever say he wanted to microchip people. That leap of logic was made by someone else who noticed that he had a patent for some kind of subdermal dye technology, and of course, with great alarm, that its patent is 060606. Well, it isn't actually. I mean, those numbers do exist in the much larger alphanumeric that is the patent number, but probably a bit of a leap there to jump straight to Bill Gates as the Antichrist.
Well, at least he doesn't think that. I'll take that as a win.
But I'm not saying that means that there's nothing to be afraid of here. The idea of being able to track where you are at all times and the government wanting to track you at all times so that they can control you is something you probably should be a little bit afraid of.
Okay, but you wouldn't need to microchip people for that. People are already carrying around at least one device at all times that can track them, record video, record voice. Like phones, people also carry tablets sometimes. You don't need to microchip people for that.
Whether it's through cell phone tracking or, some chip that they implant in you. The reality is that governments do seek to have this information.
Thank you for
they
following.
Want to know everything about you, and they want to know everywhere that you've gone. They have reasons for that, and they generally probably think they're good reasons, because it makes you safer, because it helps us to prevent criminal activity and terrorism and so on and so forth.
Oh my goodness, I
China
need to skip ahead. This guy is so fucking boring.
Evil, where people wouldn't see it, and perhaps, and quite likely, it would seem to engage in illegal and unacceptable by anyone's standards practices, such as pedophilia and the like. And was he killed for that? Yeah, probably. It's unlikely that his camera just accidentally failed and then he strangled himself with something he probably didn't. He did. No, his circumstance.
Okay, I'm done with this dude. He's too long-winded. I need more concentrated conspiracy. I need a conspiracy that's been left in a heating tray overnight to reduce, like the saltiest of soups. Let's do a little bit of The Fall of the Cabal,
right,
which I'm watching in sections because it is literally one of the... It involves QAnon stuff, it involves all kinds of things. So, thank you, Harpoon Lobotomy, for following.
The migrant caravan that headed to the southern border of the US in April 2018 was covered by the media big time. According to the official reports, these people came mostly from Honduras, where the caravan had started, and then people from Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Mexico joined the march.
Yeah.
The main reasons for them to flee their home country were gang violence and poverty.
It's almost like the United States has done nation building within the nations south of its border for decades, and it's finally coming back to bite us in the ass. It's almost like destroying the governmental systems of people surrounding you is not a great strategy in the long term.
When I saw the first pictures, I was shocked. But then I realized there were just too many images of women and children, which is always a sign of media manipulation and a hidden political agenda.
What are you talking about? Yeah, a lot of them are women and children. Woman, child, woman/child, maybe? I can't really tell. Man. There's a man back here. There are men interspersed in here. There's a man, there's a man. What are you talking about?
Always.
And yes, unfortunately, sometimes the media will run with more stories about, refugees who are female and children. Because, unfortunately, people tend to have a more emotional reaction to that. And, in order to garner empathy, they will put that foot forward first. Because a lot of people will say, well, they're men, who the fuck cares? Not saying it happens all the time, but there are people who think like that. Just saying.
Critical thinkers like the QAnons studied the pictures closely.
QAnon, critical thinker. Those words should not be within a mile of each other.
Too many things did not add up. Like I said in part 1, these people had to walk for 45 miles a day, each and every day for 1.5 months.
Yeah, it probably sucked a lot. They're refugees. What do you expect them to do? The countries are fucking war-torn that they're going through. Mexico is real shitty to be in. I don't blame anyone for wanting to go through Mexico and come to the US because Mexico is full of cartel gang violence because of the drug wars the USA started. Come on.
But these people don't look exhausted. They're not dirty or sweaty.
Okay, yeah, they're walking for days and days and days. They're probably in decent shape at this point. Oh my goodness.
Their clothes are clean. Clean babies. Clean pants. They wear labels. They are well fed. These people aren't refugees. They're not poor.
If refugees literally aren't wearing rags, they aren't refugees, is the argument this lady is making right now. And it's hilariously bad. Holy shit.
I traveled through Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras, and I saw...
I guarantee if she showed a picture of people who did look dirty, she'd go, this looks staged. These people are... Look, come on.
Poverty. Believe me, these people are not poor. 45 miles a day on flip-flops?
Yeah, it probably sucked ass.
Are you kidding me? Or even barefoot? Come on, where are the blisters? And why aren't they carrying what is needed for a journey like that?
Again, if this were a conspiracy and there'd be a central casting, and I think they would go, oh, we should put them in like tennis shoes or something. Why would they give them flip-flops if it was a conspiracy? This is the dumbest conspiracy I think I've ever heard. And I've seen Reptoid stuff, which we're gonna get to later. Like, this is just so stupid. You're just saying you don't think they look dirty enough, ergo, they're not refugees, which is a complete... That doesn't even make sense.
Blankets, food, water. Where are the spare diapers? Some people do have small backpacks, but they appear to be brand new.
Yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people got help. I'd imagine aid was sent from charities to help these people, because it was months!
So,
Jesus.
What did happen? First of all, buses and vans were deployed to transport all of these people from Honduras to the US border.
There you go. There's your answer. How is that a conspiracy? Some charity or some people helped to get them rides. Look, there's a picture of it. That's not a conspiracy, it's people helping them out. Jesus.
Flip-flops? No problem. You only have to get out of the van occasionally for a group photo. Next, in order to get as many people as possible, you pay them. Thanks to some alert anons, this was filmed on site.
Yes, they were handing out money to people because they were probably given charity. Again, I remember when this was happening, people were donating to help these people, and then it was probably dispersed so that while they're going through towns, they can get things they need. Diapers, food, clothes, go to a laundromat, whatever.
Then, in order to be efficient for the media, you give the
Fellas, is it gay to give refugees a lift?
main players a colored wristband. Brilliant! Different colors have different meanings, all known to the reporters and the cameramen.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, some of them didn't want to be photographed, so they had ones that were like, hey, don't photograph me if I'm wearing this color. I could be wrong, but there are about 1,000,001 different reasons to be wearing armbands. This is also a completely different kind of armband. This looks like one of those rubber bracelets, like the Live Strong ones, but blue. Yep, they're wearing bracelets. Honestly, it probably has to do with the buses. It probably tells people, like, hey, you're not supposed to be on this bus. You don't have an armband. What's with the Kickstarter music? Yeah.
Some people overact.
What do you mean overact? He's holding his fucking child. You sick bastard. What is wrong with you?
Others are really convincing and make it to the World News Report.
Oh my goodness,
Meet
this
Maria
person is
Meza
repugnant.
And her 5 children, all the way from Honduras.
Yeah, look at this lady. She's wearing a children's Frozen outfit, probably because it was donated and she needed a shirt. So she, like, ripped the sleeve or whatever. It's clearly not the right fit for her. Jesus. Thanks for the bit, Invader Diz. How many bits to get you to skip this? I hate it. More than 1, that's for fucking sure.
She made it to every news item on TV, telling about her terror, the fear for her children, their eyes all wet and swollen due to the tear gas that the American Border Patrol so viciously threw at them. Well, Maria, there are a few flaws in your story. I've looked at every single picture of you and your beautiful girls. None of them show any signs of tear gas.
Yeah, because they were running away from it, you dumb fucker. Are you kidding me? How fucking black-hearted, and I'm swearing a lot, I apologize, but I'm mad at this person. How empty do you have to be in order to look at people suffering at the hands of the United States government and saying, they're probably faking it, as if the United States government has no history of treating brown people poorly. That basically is United States history.
This picture clearly shows that you are the only ones in action. The cameraman shoots away, completely unhindered by the gas.
Yeah, he's a cameraman. It's his job.
There is no panic. Let's have a closer look at this picture. Cameramen are standing in the line of smoke, yet have no problem with that.
It's a still photograph, you moron. What do you expect them to be doing? They're clearly picking up their camera, getting ready to run. These people are covering their mouths because it's gas. They're getting up and getting ready to move because of the gas, but they have this and they have to pick it up. This person's covering their mouth. These people are covering their mouths. This person, that looks like they're wearing a bandana over their mouth or something. See my first bit and raise another bit, says Invader Diz.
Oh wait, look! Somebody is throwing a gas canister. Is that a...
He's probably trying to move it from where it was, if that's even what you're seeing. He could be throwing any number of things. You don't know what this is. The gas canister is either over here or over here. He's throwing something, but we can't see what it is.
A fellow refugee? Maria told the press that her son went back the next day to get the canister and show it to the reporters. Shame on you, America.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Yes,
capitalism.
shame on America. For a lot of things. Dim302, bits from the Cabal, thank you. Thank you, Cupcake Chaos, for gifting a sub.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I do hope Maria was paid handsomely. I really do. But her story sucks. The family was photographed on another day, getting out of a van.
Oh, look how dirty this backpack is. Doesn't this fly directly in the face of what you were saying earlier? Or did you forget you were talking about how clean their backpacks looked earlier? You fucking idiot.
Yet another day's work in front of the camera. And the tear gas canister? You can buy them at any theatre prop retailer. Or you can use...
Imagine being such a conspiracy theorist that you go from hating the government and thinking it's a giant conspiracy to wheeling right back around and saying, these refugees are just faking the government being awful to them. Think about that for a second and hope that your head doesn't fucking explode. What is the goal of paying people to do this? Seriously, what the fuck is the goal? Good question.
Use the police training variety. They produce white smoke, but no harm is done. I guess Trump's statement was correct. No tear gas was used on the children.
Bullshit. I completely believe that it was.
The entire mainstream media...
Trump is literally tear-gassing people outside the White House who are protesting peacefully, the ones that are protesting peacefully, to clear that church so we could do a photo op. Do you think he's not gonna tear-gas brown kids? Trump barely cares about white kids. What the fuck are you talking about?
Coverage of this event was biased and flawed. My advice to the producers, next time, pay more attention to the details, for the anons are on to you. Refugees who walk for thousands of miles do not walk like this.
Yeah, they have their kid in a little wheelie thing so he doesn't have to walk. This, you get that, right? This is so he can sit and be pulled by the parents.
Or like this.
Yeah, so the kid does, because the kid's tired. Because they're walking 40-something miles a day. This is exactly what you would expect. What are you talking about? You're contradicting what you said earlier. Oh, before it looked too easy for them, but now that the children are being helped by the parents, it must be a conspiracy. What?
They don't wear flip-flops.
They probably didn't have other shoes. They're poor, you moron.
They don't have brand new pink buggies.
Again, probably donated.
They do not polish their nails.
Because as we all know, when you're sitting and resting for the day from your arduous trip, you can't make yourself look pretty. How dare you? Thanks for the 100 or 200 bits. The only child Trump cares about is himself. Nice.
They don't wear iron shirts. Neither do they have perfect haircuts and makeup.
What? It's cornrows. How is that perfect? What are you talking about? They're not even good cornrows. No offense to this person. What? Yeah, they can do their hair and makeup. People can have makeup in their bags. What don't you get?
When they say they flee their country because they're so...
And this is just dyed hair. That was probably done prior to them moving, idiot.
Poor, they can't even buy food. Don't show them with digital cameras and iPhones.
Yeah, a lot of people have iPhones. This is one of my least favorite right-wing things. Like, oh, if you're so poor, why do you have a cell phone? Do you think it's 1985? Everyone has a cell phone. Homeless people have cell phones. They're necessary to live in the world today because people expect you to be constantly in contact with them. If you want to get a job somewhere, you better fucking have a phone. Otherwise, how are they going to get in contact with you? You're not going to give them a payphone number and go stand by it all night.
Refugees who walk for thousands of miles are not clean.
She's literally not, though. There's dirt right here. Do you see this? She's trying to say, oh, spotless. It's not. She's got dirt on her face right there. She's got dirt on her legs right here. Like, are you kidding? Did you even look at the photo before you used it?
And for God's sake, pay attention to some of your supporting actors.
What are you talking about? What about her? I don't understand what they're even trying to show here. She's wearing a dress, and she's carrying a suitcase. What are they pointing at? Again, what are you pointing at? Her bag? The fact that she has multiple bags to carry all the belongings she has in the world? Is it because it's a bag with some picture on it? Are you assuming everyone who's poor literally carries things in potato sacks like it's 1839? That's not how things work, especially in countries adjacent to the United States. goods that don't get sold in the United States get sold at a discount there. Yeah, the person's wearing Crocs. Oh, because they look white? Have they never seen a light-skinned Hispanic person before? Jesus Christ. That's, like, racist in a weird way. And yeah, Crocs. People own Crocs.
And when you Photoshop someone into a picture, make sure you don't forget his leg.
He's probably walking, and his leg is up. And you just can't see it, and the photo took an interesting moment. Jesus.
Oh, and make up your mind, will you? Do you want the shirt on or off?
At some point, he took the shirt off. You understand how photos work, right? And shirts? People, if they get hot, they take their shirts off. Are you seriously saying, oh, in one image he's wearing a shirt, in another he's not? It's right here, you idiot. You can see him holding the fucking shirt.
And what's with the Disney obsession?
Again, because they're donated, and a lot of goods have Disney princesses on them. So, when you're sending used or old merchandise for charity to another country, a lot of it's gonna have Disney characters on it. Poor people shouldn't have Disney clothes. Only rich whites in America deserve to have Mickey Mouse's corporate propaganda plastered across their bodices.
When you really want to know what's going on in the world, you have to do the research, just like Q keeps saying. And when you do, you will see what's real and what's not. The migrant caravan was a staged event with a political motive. Who was behind it? Who financed such a great event?
Again, you're talking about them walking, but there's all these cars for people to be in too. I imagine many people walked, and then they'd switch out with people on the trucks, and then they'd take shifts. It's pretty simple.
George Soros.
Oh, God. Is that on the bingo card? I don't know if anyone has Soros. But if they do, mark that one off.
That's right. Our great benefactor, George Soros, connected to the pedophile club NAMBLA and the writing.
Again, the NAMBLA claim, which I talked about in the previous stream or the one before that, has absolutely no basis in reality. I couldn't find a single source other than a forum post that just says it without sourcing anything. So it seems like this all comes down to someone in a forum said George Soros donated to NAMBLA, and now a bunch of conspiracy idiots believe it without actually researching that idea.
And violent Antifa and Black Lives Matter. How do we know he's behind all of...
Are conspiracy theorists completely unaware of the concept of Occam's razor? Don't you know? The razor is a false flag.
These so-called social movements? Well, it's not really a secret. According to an analysis
of the reputable source, the Daily Mail.
his tax filings, he invested $33 million in the notorious Ferguson riots alone. Soros promised everyone who participated in the massive protests $15 an hour.
Source!
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Freezerburn, the obsession with Disney merch on the refugees is like the obsession with the girl with the cool boots protesting a few years back. Like, you can't be poor and have nice new luxury goods. Yeah. Clothing, especially mass-produced clothing with characters on it, is not expensive to make.
In the case of the migrant
and there's
caravan,
a shit ton of it.
All they had to do was play the part of poor refugees looking for a safe haven. Money, new clothes.
Oh, George Soros, by the way. The check hasn't cleared yet. Please call my bank.
Food, toys, and an extra bonus if you play your part well. Who'd refuse a job like that? Soros made a mistake by not fulfilling his financial promises. So then we had more riots, this time by angry actors who
So some riots are when people are being paid, and other riots are when they're not being paid.
demanded payment.
Gotcha.
Videos of Antifa members shouting, "Soros, Soros, where's our money?" when
The paid protest theory is a really great way to ignore populist movements while defending imperialist states. No kidding. These people couldn't suck the government's dick any harder if they were literally under Donald Trump's desk getting orange makeup all over their mouths.
viral, yet everything was hushed up by the mainstream media. So, what's his motive? Why would anyone invest so much money in these massive and well-organized movements? To destabilize a country. To create division. Division by skin color, by political wing, by religion, by gender. A divided people is easy to rule. A united people is not. Let's go back to the Q phenomenon.
Oh, God.
As we have seen in part 2, Q strongly emphasizes the importance to unite. United we stand, divided we fall. Q portrays a better world without wars, treason and corruption. And whether you like it or not, the task to get there has been put in the hands of Donald J. Trump. Now normally when I say this to people, I get the most vicious looks. Thanks to the mainstream media, the majority of the Dutch people believe Trump to be a narcissistic dictator.
Yeah, and that has nothing to do with his actions at all. Jesus Christ, have you watched a single piece of footage of him? Like, they show full speeches. You understand that, right? Have you seen him? Have you listened to the man talk? Have you looked at his Twitter? Is his Twitter getting hacked by the deep state and posting awful things? No? That's just him? Oh, okay, just checking.
But hey, let's talk some facts here, shall we?
Well, you haven't so far, so why start now?
Trump went to North Korea. He'll start a nuclear war, the media shouted. But he came back with peace.
No, there is not peace with North Korea. What the fuck are you talking about? Nothing has changed with North Korea and our relationship with them.
6 million new jobs have been created under Trump.
South Korea and North Korea did not reunify. They aren't any more peaceful now than they were then. Yikes.
Lowest unemployment rates since 50 years. More than
How's that working out for you, Donnie? We have the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression now. This video hasn't aged very well, has it?
4 million people off of food stamps.
Yeah, because they're kicking people off of social programs that still need it. That's not good, you idiot.
Trump openly attacked Big Pharma. He created the biggest tax cuts ever.
Yeah, for the wealthy. And the ones that are for the middle class and poor people expire by, I think 2021 they expire, something like that. But the wealthy people's tax cuts are in perpetuity. This is what the GOP does. They cut taxes for the rich and put the burden of making things work in this country on the poor, which puts a higher tax burden on them. It's fucked up. It's why Amazon and Jeff Bezos can have no taxes paid and in fact get rebates despite the fact that they're the biggest company in the goddamn world. It's so stupid.
For all social classes. He is the only American president ever to work for free.
You know what? I hate when people bring this up because he has paid himself far more than the normal presidential salary because he has, for instance, he has the Secret Service rent a floor at Trump Tower. He's not doing that for free out of the kindness of his heart. The government is paying Trump Tower to rent out that floor, and guess where that money goes? Directly into the Trump organization and into his pocket. The same with the trips to Mar-a-Lago. Every expense there gets paid to his company, which goes back to him. He's not working for free, you stupid fucks. You're a conspiracy person. Why are you believing the bullshit lines that the government is feeding you? What are you doing?
He signed an executive order to clean the oceans. Did you hear about that on the news? No. For some reason, the mainstream media have a political agenda of their own. But more about that later. From my point of view, one of the most important priorities of Trump is to protect the children. Right after his inauguration, he stated that his administration would focus on ending the horrific practice of human trafficking.
If Donald Trump has not fucked an underage girl in the last 30 years, I would literally bet my house on it. If there was such a way to get a truthful answer. If there was a truthful answer to whether or not Donald Trump has fucked an underage girl in the last 30 years, and it was in a box in a room with me and someone else, I would wager them, hey, you can have my house if the answer is no. There's no way Donald Trump isn't fucking underage girls. Not now, probably, because he has so much press attention on him, but he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He certainly fucked some of his girls. It's disgusting. It's super fucking disgusting.
Also referred to as modern slavery.
New lawsuit claims he fucked a 13-year-old? That wouldn't surprise me.
On December 21, 2017, he signed an executive order blocking the property of people involved in serious human rights abuse and corruption. More executive orders followed to protect victims of human trafficking. A huge campaign was deployed to educate parents and children about the dangers of human trafficking.
Oh, yuck.
Throughout 2018 and 19, many arrests took place. Thousands of child molesters were arrested. Thousands of victims were rescued. Trump keeps emphasizing that most victims are smuggled into the country through the southern border. He shows numbers, statistics.
And he uses it as a scapegoat and a reason to try and ban all immigration from the south of the border. He's not doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He's using it as a way to say, we need to build a big border wall. Like an idiot.
He made January Human Trafficking Awareness Month. He informed the people about MS-13, a criminal gang responsible for raping and killing many American citizens. He swore he would take them down to the last member. He keeps emphasizing the drugs problem and the billions of dollars.
The drugs problem caused by the United States war on drugs? Yeah, he could order the DEA to decriminalize drugs tomorrow and completely undercut the cartel's business model. But, of course he's not going to do that.
The countless lives
so stupid.
Each year. He keeps pleading for a wall, anything to reduce the drugs and human trafficking numbers as...
That wouldn't do anything. Do you think the cartels wouldn't be able to take down a wall? Are you serious? That's insanity. They'd either A, dig tunnels, which are already a thing, by the way. A wall doesn't stop tunnels. B, they'd move their shipments to coastal, and they'd use boats. C, they'd use air travel. A wall won't do anything. It's ineffective. This is why people don't like the wall. For one thing, because it's usually the people who are for it are actually pretty racist, and they just don't want brown people coming into the country. They don't care about the drug stuff. They use it as, like, a scapegoat to say, like, oh, I don't have a problem with Mexicans coming into the country, but I just don't want the drugs. Even though they don't really give a fuck. But not only that, it's completely ineffectual. It would be a monumental waste of time, money, resources, and employment. Ridiculous.
As much as possible. But the mainstream media keep twisting his words, making it sound like immigrants aren't welcome. I've watched these interviews time and again, and I can assure you that according to President Trump, immigrants are most welcome, but they have to come in legally.
Yeah, and he's trying to restrict the amount of people who can come in legally. That's his entire point, is overall reducing the income of people from Mexico, those that are coming to the United States, whether it be legal or illegal. So he says and pays lip service to the fact that, oh, they can come in legally, while also working to reduce the number of people who do come in legally and are approved.
The funny thing is, Bill Clinton wanted a wall.
Yeah, I also disagree with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is a neoliberal sack of shit, who also may have slept with children. Who knows? They were both friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Either way, they're both assholes.
Obama wanted a wall.
Let's see what this says. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in the country. Barack Obama, 2005. Yeah, 2005, Obama was also against gay marriage. He's very much a liberal in the sense that he goes with what the crowd is saying. He will wait for popular opinion to change on a subject before he gets behind it. I don't necessarily agree with him on that. Obama's better than Bill Clinton, but he's still a liberal. And I'm a leftist, so.
Hillary
It also doesn't mention a wall. Yeah, good point. I forgot to even mention the main part.
wanted a wall.
Oh wait, she wanted a wall? Because really, during the election, the right was saying, oh, she wants open borders. Which is it? Does she want a wall, or does she want open borders, guys? Take your pick.
They all voted for a wall when they were still in the Senate. I'm talking about the 2006 Secure Fence Act.
A fence is different than a wall, guys. And they're also... There's a difference between selective places of fencing and a wall across one of the largest contiguous borders on the planet.
Passed by a Republican Congress and signed by President George W. Bush.
Yeah, he's a Republican.
It wasn't a problem back then.
It was. I very specifically remember people being upset about it then as well.
But now all of a sudden, Trump is an immigrant hater?
He is, yes.
The more I study the subject, the more I understand why Trump is bashing fake news. But more about that soon. Back to Trump's war against human traffickers. For years, whistleblowers at the highest levels have been stepping forward with testimonies about child trafficking for the elite.
This is one thing I do think is true. I think rich people, when you get to a certain level in this country, rich men in particular, I do think do have, like, pedophilia stuff going on. I don't know why. I don't know what the specific reasoning is, but if you have enough money and you want to fuck a child, you're gonna get to fuck a child. That is a thing. There's a reason child trafficking does exist. It's really fucked up, and it's also why Jeffrey Epstein got killed in jail, because he probably knew a lot about a lot of people.
This is nothing new. It was just never dealt with. Until now. The thing is...
No. Trump is not helping the situation.
Talk about this in my presentations. People don't want to hear about it. They don't want to look at these pictures.
You thought Epstein was a suicide? If you think Epstein actually killed himself, that's one thing that definitely didn't happen. Epstein was reported as a suicide, but the cameras in his cell block turned off. The guards were all asleep that were meant to be patrolling the area, and it was the first suicide that facility had had in like 30 years. No, I really don't think he killed himself.
Which I understand. I would rather look away as well. But that...
The reason is because it's something taboo that they can do. It's the rich and powerful's equivalent of smoking weed, yeah.
reminds me of the famous one-liner of the Germans right after World War II. After being confronted with the painful question, how could you let the Nazi atrocities happen? Why didn't you do something? The answer was always, wir haben's nicht gewusst. We didn't know. Of course they knew. It was just too painful and too dangerous to acknowledge it and to do something about it. Well, I will not look away any longer.
That's a lot
These
of
kids are not
tinfoil. Yeah, every time I hit a new level of the hype train, I was adding tinfoil to my protective layer.
held by our denial. They are held by our action. So for God's sake, keep watching. We are the only hope they have left.
Yeah, can we talk about the fact someone, Phoenix 413 says, let's talk about Trump's concentration camps. Oh, Trump cares so much about the children. That's why he's locking children of parents who have crossed the border up in goddamn cages.
Child trafficking for the elite. That is bigger than pedophilia. We are talking about a huge criminal organization kidnapping children and selling them to high-ranking officials from mayors, judges, and senators to presidents.
Richard Nixon in back of plane to my right. Oh, God. Ugh.
And even royalty. Do you think this is far-fetched? Do you think it's just a conspiracy theory? Get ready for some conspiracy facts in part 4.
Okay, end of part 3. That's enough of that for now. Holy fuck. Did we get anything else? The deep state. Did she mention the deep
In
state?
2010,
Oops. No,
right
stop.
after the devastating...
QAnon is claimed as a source. That's one. False flag operation. Would the immigrant caravan thing be considered a false flag? Because it's like a... no, because false flag has a specific definition. It's about, like, inciting the population to get angry because of an attack that's fake. The deep state, hot pocket, ancient wisdom, aliens. But that's just a theory. A conspiracy theory. Anonymous, that didn't get mentioned. Forced sterilization, vampires, numerology, satanic ritual, child abuse, but not satanic, not ritual child abuse, just child abuse, so that doesn't count. Flat Earth, Illuminati, Freemasons, philosophy, Eastern, holographic sky, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, expert gives opinion. Okay, let's see what else we got. Reptilian, Archon implants, reptilians, racial killings, COVID, old and new Earth.
Oh, at 4:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I can't sleep, so...
Thinly veiled anti-Semitism because of Soros. I'll give that one. If Soros is mentioned, I'll assume it's thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Has anyone gotten bingo yet, by the way, on their cards? I didn't notice. Ooh, can you hear that foil? I'm so foily.
I figured it was a good time event to talk about what I've been wanting to talk about for almost a whole week. There has been certain events astrologically, and then events that have occurred and are occurring right now in the very city that I live in the very state that I live in the country that I live in. And this is, you know, this is on top of what's already been going on around the planet. Okay, so before I get into all that, I want to start with talking about last week. So right now I am...
Why is the audio so low? Hold on, let me check my Streamlabs to see if it's... Well, desktop audio is as high as it can be. Mic audio. Video cam... Oh, wait, no. Well, no, it's as high as it goes. I can turn myself down, and then you can turn the whole thing up, if that would help. So I'll turn myself down a little bit, and then you can just turn your overall volume up.
I'm recording Sunday, May 31st, 4:30 something in the morning. Okay, so this is literally now a week. Last week, okay?
Is she, like, in a house with someone else and she doesn't want them to hear her recording this? Oh, this one doesn't even have auto-generated closed captions. That's weird.
Around May 18th to the 22nd was Pleiadian lineup. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this before.
Yeah, this is a little too quiet. I'm gonna skip that one. It's a little hard to hear.
They come from another world and are rumored. There is a group that has sinister intentions for Earth lurking in the shadows of our society. They come from another world and are rumored to interfere with mankind's existence, perhaps changing our ancestors' genetic code. These mysterious beings are linked with almost every theory of conspiracy, and it is rumored that our societies have been infiltrated at the highest levels of business and government. But who is that, and where is it from?
Yeah, this music is much better than the ones from the last video. Fuck yeah.
Who are the Reptilians? Reptilians are a supposed alien species that came to Earth during the time of the ancient Sumerians. In fact, much of what we know of them is documented through Sumerian writing.
You can tell because there's a disc and stars, which you can see whether or not there are aliens anyway.
What we do know is that at some point during the Sumerian reign, the
anti-Argonian propaganda,
Nuna, which translates to gods, came from
They need to go back to Black Marsh where they belong, goddammit.
From the sky and settled on the earth. These gods were then referred to as Anunnaki, gods who live on Earth. Many people associate the reptilians with the strange arrival of the Anunnaki because of the sudden emergence of reptile worship after the Anunnaki were settled. There are several arguments that claim the Sumerian writings are not enough evidence to link the reptilians to these strange Anunnaki. What cannot be denied, however, is the many reptilian theories that have come to light.
Do you really want to use the phrase cannot be denied in terms of reptilians? Because I'm pretty fucking sure I can deny it. Like, because of the lack of evidence?
As a result of the Sumerian writings. There are two theories.
Oh yeah, this counts as aliens for sure. Aliens, because they're reptoid aliens. Ancient wisdom, maybe. I'm gonna say because they didn't specifically say ancient wisdom, so no, it's in quotes.
To where the reptilians came from. Some believe that the reptilians evolved on Earth millions of years ago until they were able to venture into space.
Like the Doctor Who Silurians.
Their reappearance during the age of the Sumerians was simply a decision to return to Earth, not the takeover of a new world. Others believe the reptilians came to us from the Draco constellation and then traveled throughout the galaxy before they discovered Earth.
Okay, people believe that. But why do they believe that?
They then assimilated into Earth's government.
You have bingo! I'm Not Going Talks has bingo! You are the winner of Conspiracy Bingo today. Congratulations. I'm gonna have to figure out a prize for whoever did it in the future. I don't have anything for you right now, though. I apologize.
And helped to propel the ancient world into an age of enlightenment. Some of these reptilians bred with humans and created crossbred offspring that are supposedly responsible for feats such as the ancient pyramids in Egypt.
Congratulations, I'm Not Going Talks. You are the first winner of Conspiracy Bingo.
Theorists would tell us that the reptilians are a humanoid species that appear to be human from the feet to the neck, but have a face that resembles a reptile. They tend to be much taller than the average human, and at least during the point in time, and have knowledge.
Thanks, the cassowary. Enjoy your dinner.
Which is thought to have helped in shaping the ancient world. In fact, some theorists claim that they were responsible for helping to create the major religions that came out of the Middle East, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So what do these strange creatures want? Supposedly to enslave the human race. And really, what better group could there be to blame all of the world's conspiracies on than the first alien settlers to make contact with our ancestors? There are many different variations on how these reptilians may have set out to enslave the human race. According to some theorists, the Anunnaki accomplished this by genetically modifying the DNA of primates to make them more suitable servants. Others will argue that the reptilians simply modified a short segment of human DNA to make our forefathers more submissive. There are some variations of this theory that claim that humans can...
Humans are many things. Subservient is not one of the adjectives I would apply to us, though.
...only play a small part of their brain capacity because of how the reptilians altered our brain structure. Many who believe this theory point to the reptile genes that can be found in our brains and are responsible for a large portion of our brain activity.
I mean,
There's
when
nothing
you
funny
say
about the tools of
DNA,
capitalism.
reptile DNA in our brains, I assume you mean DNA that we share with reptiles. But the thing is, we also share DNA with, like, bananas and corn and stuff, because we're all related to every living thing on this planet. That doesn't mean there's a secret cabal of potato people that are going to take over the planet. Thank you, Invader Diz, for another bit. Have you ever seen the documentary about the reptilian race, Delgo? No, I have not. Oh, Delgo, that bad animated movie. No, I've not seen Delgo.
According to Sumerian writings, the supposed plot was foiled by a character named Enki,
Foiled!
a god that came to Earth from a different place than the Anunnaki. He freed certain humans from slavery by telling them a secret, though we are
there's
no
the Silurians! They know. Okay.
longer certain as to what that secret may be. Apparently, Enki's tactics didn't pan out for the long run, because many believe the reptilians are still alive and well.
Evandris with 100 bits. Who told you about the potato people? Guy at McDonald's, actually. Because the french fries from McDonald's are actually made of their aborted children. Fun fact.
In fact, there are some that believe the reptilians comprise the majority of the world's governments and businesses. Popular reptilian candidates include Queen Elizabeth II and George W. Bush. Reptilian leaders like to supposedly keep the humans of the world in check by poisoning their food and distracting them with politics and war. The most popular belief among all reptilian theorists is that the strange alien group hopes to unite the countries of the world with a new world order that will give them complete control of our societies once and for all. Physical appearance. Not surprisingly, there are relatively few descriptions to go off of as to what the reptilians actually look like. There are supposedly at least two orders of reptilians, the winged draconians and the reptoids. The draconians
Anita Wu with 100 bits. It's not just Soylent Green that's made of people. New McDonald's slogan.
are an albino reptile species with wings. They are the highest in the reptilian hierarchy. The reptoids are next in the pecking order. They lack wings and have scaly skin that
This
is
is just an elaborate background for his persona. Yeah, I could at least respect that.
to a brownish hue. The reptoids comprise the soldiers and scientists of the reptilians. These reptilians can range anywhere from 5 to 12 feet in height. The draconians tend to be taller than the reptoids and have scaly skin, reptile-like eyes, and uncommonly strong. They do not wear a human shell to blend into society, but instead use vibrations to alter the way they are perceived by humans.
Vibrations? How does that work? Vibrations is a sound thing, not a visual thing. We see via, you know, the electromagnetic spectrum, the part that we can see, visible light. Vibrations aren't really part of it. That's a sound thing, not a visual thing.
Hybrids. There are supposedly hybrids that exist in human form that are not aware they are reptilians. These hybrids are controlled by the reptilians, existing in the fourth dimension, and are used to further the New World Order. These hybrids have existed as some of the world's greatest leaders, and have performed some of the most amazing...
Hillary Clinton is a reptilian, confirmed! Got a photograph of it! Man, you think she would look for cameras before she took her face off. That's weird.
And terrifying acts in history. So how do you spot these reptilians and hybrids? Most believers will tell you that the most common way to catch a reptilian in action is to watch for what most people simply see as camera glitches. Most reptilians will be Caucasian or have light skin. They also
Why are the reptilians racist now? Why do they choose to be white people? Do they just love mayonnaise and mac and cheese? Ugh.
tend to have green.
Thank you to Void Harpy for following.
Hazel or blue eyes that can sometimes change in color. Many reptilians have some sort of scar or other defining feature on their faces to make them stand out. Theorists believe that this may be an attempt to cover up their roughness of their skin. To catch a reptilian, monitor their appearance in photos and videos. Believers claim you can easily spot the difference in a human and a reptilian or a reptilian hybrid by watching for several key clues. One of the most popular or common for most people is to see the appearance of red eyes in images. This is fairly common.
Yeah, red eye with cameras is a thing because you have blood vessels at the back of your eyes that can reflect back when you take a photograph with flash. There is red eye removal on a lot of cameras nowadays. I think most digital cameras do it. But if you used to have cameras back in the day when you had film, they didn't have the digital process to do that in the camera. Often photo studios, you could pay a little bit of money to do red eye removal. But basically, red eye in photographs is happening because light is reflecting from the back of your eye where there's a lot of blood because of the blood vessels, and it's showing up red.
For people who take pictures on low-gate cameras, but will supposedly happen frequently if you encounter a reptilian. There are also sometimes changes in the appearance of the eyes of reptilians when they are being filmed. Other changes include subtle scaly skin and slight blue-green tints to their skin. Reptilians and their hybrid kin are usually void of empathy, or at the very least have extreme difficulty trying to feel or express emotion. They will typically be unsympathetic to the troubles and suffering of those around them.
Republicans are all reptoids confirmed.
They also tend to have a need for power that drives them. Reptilians are extremely intelligent. They have a deep thirst for knowledge.
Because as we all know, no human being has the desire for power
that drives them, especially when it comes to space and science. Many believers also claim that reptilians are constantly working to create chaos and destruction in the world around us. This is usually accompanied by the claim that reptilians feed off of negative energy and it is necessary for them to sustain their way of life. Others simply believe that reptilians crave control and will do anything to maintain their grip on society. Popular conspiracy theories. Paul Benowitz. Among all of the UFO conspiracy theories that exist in the world today, few are as recognizable as Paul Benowitz's supposed discovery of an underground UFO base located in Dulce, New Mexico. Benowitz started off as a highly respected physicist that happened across secret projects being conducted by the Air Force and the NSA at Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico. He believed these projects were somehow related to cattle mutilations and local alien abduction stories that were common in the area. His investigations led him to the town of Dulce. There is a base that operates out of there. It is said to serve as the base of operations for a group of unfriendly extraterrestrials who use the 7th level of the base to conduct genetic engineering experiments. These extraterrestrials are commonly identified as the reptilians. Benowitz took his claims to the UFO community where they quickly spread and were accepted by many believers. However,
it's almost like people who believe in UFOs, specifically alien UFOs, are really gullible and latch onto anything that sounds reasonable to them, which is a lot.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Thanks for the 45 bits. Do the glasses from They Live work on reptilians? These ones are actually like the glasses from They Live, and as it turns out, I am in fact a reptilian. Fun fact, I learned that about myself today. It explains the molting, I'm not gonna lie.
There are also those who do not accept his claims as truth because of his quick descent into madness and admitted interference with military and government agents of misinformation. In spite of all of this, there are still many who believe Benowitz's theories to this day. In fact, a former security officer at the Dulce base, Thomas Costello, confirmed that the base does have 7 levels. According to Costello, the 7th level consists of natural caverns that he believes used to be frequented by several extraterrestrial races in the past. David Icke. When it comes to the reptilians, most of today's theories come from the now infamous David Icke. Icke was originally a pro football player, also known as soccer in North America, but had to retire due to arthritis. For a while, he was content with serving as a sports broadcaster and representative of the Green Party, but soon descended into madness when a psychic told him that he had a special purpose on Earth and would soon receive a message from the spirit world. Icke soon wanted to be known as the son of the Godhead and was convinced The world was being run by a group of Babylonian Brotherhood reptilians who used shape-shifting to allow themselves to blend into society as prominent figures and leaders. The goal of this brotherhood is...
You know how I know this photo is real? I just have a real good feeling about it. I don't know. I don't know why. But I get the feeling this photo, it's just very real.
To create a new world order that will give them complete control over the free world. Many who believe in reptilians today have had their views heavily impacted by Ike and his teachings. There are those who debate over Ike's methods. Some believe he is simply a conspiracist gone mad, while others believe his theories are simply encouragement for non-intellectuals to question the state of the world today, and a lens to help them examine events more closely. Regardless of what Ike's goals are and what his state of sanity is, he is and always will be one of the pioneering voices in the reptilian conspiracy.
Really? Because I think his state of sanity is pretty relevant to whether or not you should listen to him about the reptoid aliens that have taken over the country secretly. It seems like his sanity is like #1 on the list of things you should be asking, right?
Herbert Schirmer. Last but not least, we cannot forget the infamous account of Herbert Schirmer encountering a UFO on the side of the road in Ashland, Nebraska. At first, all Schirmer could remember was his encounter with a strange craft hovering above the side of the road. Later on, however, he agreed to undergo hypnosis to uncover hidden memories that had been, quote-unquote, lost. He recalled being escorted onto the spacecraft and interacting with beings who looked just like humans but were dressed in a gray and white uniform with the picture of a winged serpent on the chest. Conspiracy theorists everywhere were quick to link the account to reptilians and accounted for the human appearances of the entities as being due to the shape-shifting abilities of reptiles. Explanation of the myth. Many who tried to shed light on the introduction of the reptilians as a common conspiracy theory often point to Robert E. Howard. It is Howard's work, Shadow Kingdom, that first introduced the idea of serpent men to literature as rulers of a secret society that controlled the world. The book incorporated the idea that reptilians could have thrived in the lost worlds of Atlantis and Lemuria and been responsible for the great technologies of the ancient world.
Atlantis/Lemuria should definitely be a space on the bingo card.
Worlds. In fact, many of David Icke's theories come from literature by Howard or authors who were inspired by Howard. Others simply point to the Sumerian writings as the cause of the reptilian hysteria. It is undeniable that these writings are a source of inspiration for many, including Howard, and there are many mythologies that believe the writings hold some truth, however small. There are also those...
Yeah, there's a bingo card. Let me, put
there
it
is
in
a group
the
that...
chat. Conspiracy bingo. Okay, we did that one. Yeah, I'm probably gonna add this person to my list of
There is
regulars.
a group that has sinister...
I'm gonna slowly cultivate a field of conspiracy nutters. Yes. Oh, let's see what this lady's got going on. Oh, my butt. My butt hurts. Ugh. To protest or not to protest? Sex Q&A. Sex, the release of trauma and connection to the universe. Powerful message to star seeds. Discover and unlock your alien hybrid DNA. Let's see what her most popular videos are. Galactic Federation managed to humanity, March 2020. Yeah, this woman believes she's either a grifter or genuinely believes this, I'm not sure which it is, believes she is humanity's emissary to the Galactic Federation.
Hello, Galactic family, and welcome to maybe potentially one of the most important videos that I've ever really put out there. And today I'm going to be your interdimensional newscaster. That's what I feel like today. I
like her jacket, though. She may be crazy, but I like her jacket.
Got a lot of information regarding what's going on the planet
Check out
right
Teal Swan. You think this person's a troll? Do you have actual evidence of that, or is it just like you feel like she's a troll? It's hard to say. Chocolate orange chia pudding. The anger hack. What you do when you're upset. The surprise troop. How to heal millennial generation. What are her top videos? Hope your D&D goes well, Dan Rossi Draws. Hope you get all the loot. And I hope you don't get killed by either the dungeon or the dragons. New Age conspiracy cult leader. Mid Nocturnal says, nice look, Hannah. Looking great. It's protecting me from the Reptoid rays. So they can't see that I'm showing you this information. It'll protect my brain waves and my body waves, which are nearly as important as my brain waves. How to activate and open your third eye. Oh, God. Added to the list.
Now there are certain words that are being shadow banned, so I'm going to be very careful not to...
The tools of capitalism.
Thank you for your 1 bit. She's a galactic emissary like I'm an alien that escaped from Area 51 during the raid. You escaped too? Yeah. Thank God for those Naruto running bastards, right? Wait, did someone say vampire? Was there a vampire video? Or were you just saying, like, find a vampire video because that's all you need? Yeah, I'll do a tinfoil hat emote. I have to wait till I become a partner, though. I have all my emote slots filled right now. Okay.
To say certain words.
Psychic vampire. So there is a vampire. Where is it? Psychic vampire. Self-love. Auras. Psychic oh no! Alright. Is she part of Spirit Science or something? Because that art is like exactly the same art style from Spirit Science. How to recognize and protect yourself from an energy vampire.
Hello everyone. I figured a good topic for today would be energy vampirism. This is a parasitic relationship in which one person feeds off of the life force energy, otherwise known as prana, of another person. These people who feed off of the life force of another person.
Vampires.
Who drain other people's energy are often called psychic vampires.
Yeah, the matting here is
but
bad.
I'm going to propose a lofty proposition today. That it is impossible to give away your energy to...
Watch What We Do in the Shadows. I love that show, and I love the movie that it's spun off from.
...to anyone. And it is impossible to take energy from anyone.
When did I mention cheese?
Let's call this source. As we know, source is an infinite energy. It has no boundaries. It is everythingness. There are streams within this source energy, which we often call the soul or the higher self. It's just like a current within the ocean. The current is also...
I did say mac and cheese. I'm gonna count that. Mac and cheese counts as cheese, goddammit. Hannah mentions Hot Pocket / cheese. Okay, alright.
Also the ocean, but it is an expression of the ocean. So these souls, or higher selves, project forth into the physical dimension of physical being. So let's call this you, and let's call this Bob. Bob is only ever being fed energy from his soul, or higher self, the same way that you are only being fed by your soul, or higher self. It is that stream of consciousness which is feeding you energy. So it is actually impossible to take your energy from somebody else, or for someone to take your energy for themselves. All that ever happens is that this person acts in such a way that by virtue of perceiving them, you begin to think thoughts that cause you to restrict your own source flow.
Can I get a source on any of this? Teal Swan, you got any reputable journal papers about soul-sucking vampires? Although I guess it'd be more accurate to say soul-blocking vampires, because they can't actually take your energy.
Same goes for the other person. Bob might feel like we are draining their energy. But what's really happening is that as he is, here's his little eyes, as he is observing our behavior, that is causing him to think thoughts that are preventing his source flow from coming into his physical body. That right there is why he is saying, now I feel like my energy is drained when I'm around you. It really has nothing to do with this person over here. They're not the one that's doing it to them. They're just existing as an excuse for Bob to feel bad. This
Basically, they're just people that you don't like and it makes you feel like shit. And she's trying to somehow connect us to a metaphysical, supernatural soul realm, which is not evidenced whatsoever. And there's some source that is providing energy to the soul that then provides energy to us.
This may happen to you too. If Bob is doing something that makes us feel like our energy is drained, if this is the psychic vampire, the only reason we have...
Can you watch a video about healing the millennial generation? Sure, we got the vampire knocked off. We can watch whatever the millennial thing was. How to activate, was it part of the top, probably? Most popular? Energy healing. How to activate, where is the, maybe it was under most recent. Yeah, there we go.
The millennial generation is a game changer generation. But for the rules of the game to be changed, those rules have to have proved to be detrimental. The trauma of experiencing those detrimental aspects of the rules of a game have led the millennial generation to a crossroads. The crossroads is either we invest our energy in changing this whole damn thing and breaking those rules so that we can make new ones, or we pull our energy out of the game entirely. Just give up on it. Many members of the millennial generation are on a fast track to destruction because of what has happened and what is currently happening in the world. But a different road can be taken. A different option is available to us in any moment.
I gotta speed this
I
lady
could write
up.
an entire book on all the elements that could be involved in healing the millennial generation. Probably many books. But my intention for this episode is to put down the key highlights so that you can understand how to heal the millennial wound. This is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through the rest of this episode talking directly to millennials, hoping that any of you who are not part of the millennial generation can observe what I'm saying and ascertain from it how to and how not to deal with millennials. If you haven't done so already, I ask that you stop this video and watch the video that I did called What is Wrong with Millennials before you resume. The first thing I'm going to say to this is that as a millennial, the first thing or the first response you're going to have to this entire
sounds like normal speed Ben Shapiro.
video is angry. Why? Because of how deeply unfair it feels to be painted as the problem that needs to be fixed. Now, while some of you feel that deep down inside you there probably is something wrong with you, the rest of you, and even those of you who feel like there's something wrong with you deep down, know that what this is a gaslight. Looking at your life, you may find that members of the previous generations first messed you up and set you up to fail, and then made you the problem for being messed up or failing. For this reason, I want you to understand that when I say that there has to be healing to the millennial generation, what I mean is that the millennial generation has to experience the opposite of what caused their trauma in the first place. For that to happen, you're going to have to alter your perspective in some of the things that you're doing. I have no interest in participating in making you a scapegoat for previous generations. What I do want to do is to set before you a kind of toolbox from which you can pull these tools to create a life that's more like a life you want to live, that can improve the situation that you find yourself in, rather than leave you stuck. Let's just jump into it, shall we? Point number 1. To heal is to experience the opposite. Now, if you keep that idea in mind...
That's not what healing is. This lady's kind of boring. I might come back to her later, but I want to hear about the Galactic Federation.
Know what this is about. I mean, there's stuff going on this planet. Today we're going to be talking about deep state Illuminati.
Oh, deep state! Did we already do that one? The deep state. Do we have an
nothing
Illuminati
funny about
one?
the tools of
Illuminati
capitalism.
Freemasons. Fuck yeah. In one sentence, she knocked 2 of my bingo spots off. She looks like Jennifer Connelly, and Jennifer Tilly had a perfect baby.
What's really going on behind the scenes, what all of you need to be aware of, what we need to be prepared for, and I guess, you know, news straight from the Galactic Federation of Light. So I just want to begin with, if this video resonates with you, donations are always appreciated, and or super chats. You guys know, super appreciated as always. And if not, no worries, just sit back and really enjoy this content because everyone needs to know. And as always, please subscribe and share this video if you feel like more people need this kind of information.
I've done my work by sharing this with you people. Teal Swan charges $9.99 a month for her seminars and stuff. Jesus. Yikes.
Okay? So I want to just begin.
She may just be a total grifter, in which case... No, you can't lie to people to make money. That's not right. But, like... if people are willing to believe that you're in contact with the Galactic Federation... I don't know. It's not right. But it is funny, I'll put it like that.
With kind of stating where this information came from. So for those of you who don't know me, or maybe for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm a psychic channeler. And one ability that I've been able to kind of, I don't want to say master, but one ability that I've been able to work with throughout the years is something called remote viewing and astral traveling. And so what I've done for the past probably 5 years, well, even longer than that, since 2012, I've been astral traveling. Hi, Heidi. Thank you for that super chat. I've been astral traveling and remote viewing and going over to a giant Galactic Federation mothership that hangs out right outside of Earth's atmosphere. And I have been conversing telepathically and sitting in on council meetings. And this would be considered the Palladian, and I call them the Security Council, because it's a council of about 8 Palladian beings on board this Galactic Federation mothership. And they are in charge of Earth's safety. I've been, you know, talking with them for years now, long before, you know, this ever kind of hit or this ever happened. So I knew exactly where to go and who to go to.
I know, she should write like a young adult book or something.
You know, for
She's
this
very creative.
Valid information, okay? Okay, so what else?
Galactic Federation, don't listen to her. She's in no way associated with us. I'm probably gonna stream for another, oh boy, we're at 2 hours 52 minutes. Once I hit 3.5 hours, I'm probably gonna log off, just so everyone's aware. About 38 minutes left.
That's what I want to say about that. For those of you who have no idea who the Galactic Federation is, basically the easiest way that I can sum it up is the Galactic Federation is a government system for the universe, and every solar system has its own coalition of federation. Okay, but essentially they're the good guys, right? They are here for our ascension, for our awakening. One more thing that I want to say as well about them before I get started
when the crystal
is
gems show up in Diz.
yeah, what do I say?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Steven Universe.
Yes. I have seen the Galactic Federation frazzled before, and in that way, I've gone up there when plans haven't necessarily gone their way or haven't gone as expected, okay? And I'll tell you right now that they are pretty calm. Their energy right now on board that ship about what's happening on planet Earth, they're pretty chilled out, which should give you a good indication that, you know, this has been long planned. Okay, so this past Saturday, which was 2 days ago, I really felt the call intuitively to go over, astral travel over to the Palladian Security Council on board the Galactic Federation, and I wanted to talk with these Palladian beings and ask them a series of questions. And so what I did was I sat at my computer because I knew how important it was to have this documented. I was definitely not expecting to relay the information because typically I don't relay the Galactic Federation information to humanity directly.
Instead of typing out your notes, you might want to, I don't know, Bring a voice recorder or something like that. Dude spanking dudes. This always gets me when people say the aliens protect us. The aliens are gonna get us. Like, do these people really believe that aliens would protect or whatever the Earth? I'm pretty sure that if aliens took one glance at Earth, they'd be like, nope, fuck that. Or, and I think this was a Futurama episode, to me it's more likely they view us as reality TV. That was an episode of South Park where that happened, I think.
In this way. Okay, this is the first time I've ever actually done this. And so I sat down, I asked them a question, I received their response, I typed out their response, and then I went in and I asked them another question telepathically. I received their response and I typed it out. So today I've got 3 pages of Q&As that I asked the Galactic Federation and the Palladian Security Council about what's going on right now at this time. And like I said, I'm going to try and stay away from some keywords that are being shadow banned across the internet right now, okay? This is all I'm going to do, guys. I'm just going to literally read exactly what I wrote, but just know that it was all channeled. This is not, external information. This did not come anywhere from the third dimension frequency. This is all the Palladian Security Council. So take it or leave it. That's what I always like to say, all right? Okay, newscaster. Let's begin. Okay, so, and I'm just reading this off, guys. Okay, so I decided to go over an astral travel to the Galactic Federation, GFL Mothership, and the Palladian Security Council, since I know them all too well, and they would be the ones specifically dealing with this crisis. And then I said, let's start with a silly question first. And so I asked them, should I be doing mainstream videos for humanity or staying away from them? So I'm talking about conspiracy-related videos, what's really happening, deep state-related videos. And this was the council's response to me. So should I be doing mainstream videos for humanity? Council. Dear One, we recommend that you stay away from these videos and information as a whole, since you are meant to be sharing a greater perspective beyond the Matrix paradigm. When you share information about...
Of course, you don't want to be talking about things within the Matrix paradigm. That would just be ridiculous.
About an already limited system, you will attract individuals with a limited mindset, and therefore you are stuck in the Matrix and creating disharmony around you. Pretty straight up. Don't do them. All right, so me. Next question. Thank you so much for that validation. Can you now share with me any information...
How many hours of acid did she take for this? No kidding. Like, I can't tell if she's grifting, which is totally possible, because she seems... Not that people who are put together can't have mental illness. Of course, that's not the case. But, like, this whole presentation seems so put together and, like, a concerted effort. It doesn't seem like ramblings. It sounds like a creative writing exercise gone wrong. So... I don't know. It's tough to say. I can't tell if she's grifting or not.
Or all...
Either way, people certainly believe her. Ugh.
Information related to what's going on this planet right now at this time. Council. Your planet is currently undergoing a system...
Idea for an indie movie. Someone write this screenplay. Write a spec script. The idea is there's a young novelist... maybe played by someone who looks like this lady, because I think this is a good look for this. And her writing is getting her nowhere, and she can't get any book deals or get her screenplays picked up. But she starts getting into the world of YouTube conspiracy theories, and she figures out if she starts using her creative writing as an outlet to make up conspiracy theories, she can make a ton of money. Someone write this script. It'll be an indie darling. It'll win an Oscar. Dudes spanking dudes. I tend to avoid this kind of stuff. My dumb, gullible doomer brain would legit attach to this bullshit. Mental illnesses or mental issues are a bitch, yeah.
Cleanse, and I had to put that...
Yeah, Brie Larson could play a good version of her. They look a little similar.
In quotations, they wanted me to. Your planet is currently undergoing a system cleanse, similar to your recent juice fast, which is funny. It is needed at this time. This is all contracted and in the plan to happen. Do you remember many of your clients recently feeling like they were going to die? They were just intuitively picking up on the information that has been dripped into the collective consciousness to be prepared for death.
Or there's a global pandemic
nothing
going
funny
on
about
and
the tools
people
of
are very,
capitalism.
very concerned about it. It's one of the two. Invader Diz, if I had to guess, I would say that she had a cool idea for a channel and wanted to treat it as completely straightforward. I've had similar ideas before. Maybe. Either way, she's making good money on it.
You were also not far off by stating that this is more related to an energetic death that the collective is currently undergoing. Me. Was this virus man-made? Who made it? Who put it out there? And what was their intent in putting it out there? Council. It was created by dark forces to attack the RNA within humans. This attacks the communications from the DNA to make necessary proteins in your body. This has the potential to shut aspects of the body down. Individuals who specifically have a poor connection within themselves will be weaker during this attack.
Isn't working. The reptilians are going to be able to get to my heart now. That's a shame.
This
It's okay. The Galactic Federation will keep me safe, I assure you.
also forces people to go inward and not only listen to their own systems, but to begin to control and strengthen communications within these systems. As a human, you are powerful enough to boost your immune system just by intending it. This virus
You cannot boost your immune system by thinking about it. What are you talking about? There are a variety of factors that affect your immune system. You thinking about it is not one of them. Like all my tinfoil's falling off. I feel so vulnerable.
Created a long time ago by the Chinese government and was specifically meant to be launched at this time on the planet. Their intent was to depopulate as well as to drive fears into the masses during this great awakening. Hopefully that resonates with a lot of you. And because the Galactic Federation and the Palladian Security Council, I don't want to say that they talk in code, but I want to say that one sentence has like a whole download of information. And I hope that you guys are taking that in. And if you have to re-listen to what they said, because every word makes an impact, please just go ahead and re-listen to this video. Okay? Because I really want to repeat almost everything that they're saying so that it really sinks in. But I hope that you just re-listen and it makes sense. Okay? Basically, they just said, look, guys, you are strong enough with your intention to boost your own immune system.
Maybe video game rules for armor, for women's armor applies, Hannah. The less tinfoil armor, the more protected you are. Yeah, I gotta get a tinfoil bikini. That'll be the ideal amount of protection for me. Ugh.
And overcome this, okay? Next question. Me. What about the conspiracy theories of 5G technology and vaccines? Council. 5G is simultaneously being rolled out with this virus, or when this virus is. This is to help cover up the technology and what it's doing to the people.
No, 5G has nothing to do with coronavirus. The only correlation between 5G and coronavirus is that 5G is being put up first in places with high population density, and places with high population density are more prone to spreading viruses because people are closer together. That's the connection.
Fortunately, there have been many issues in pushing the 5G agenda, mainly because we won't—
God damn, that tinfoil made me warm as fuck. No wonder space blankets are a thing. Holy shit.
Allow their technology to work. And
tinfoil tassels, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
We are sending them through a rabbit hole to figure out why it's not working. They are attempting to push an agenda to vaccine everyone and essentially take what they spray into the airs and put it into your veins. They are potentially thinking about actually putting the vaccine into the virus, into
How do you put a vaccine in a virus when a vaccine is a way to prepare your immune system for a virus? That's not how that works. If you get a virus like coronavirus, your body then develops antibodies, so if you're exposed to it again, it can fight it off more effectively, and you probably, hopefully, won't get sick a second time. But that's not the same as it being a vaccine. That's how every disease works when your body fights it off.
To the shot just so that people do get better and that it's accepted. Most governments will attempt to make this vaccine mandatory, but will fail in their attempts. Hopefully that validates a lot for a lot of people.
Oh god, I wish the government would make vaccines mandatory. That'd be nice. Woo! Can you guys see that? That tinfoil was putting, like, patterns on my arms because of how crinkly it was. Yikers. Can you see that? Oh, no, you can't. The lighting's not good enough. Whoopsie.
Me. What about the arrests and the takedown of the Illuminati, pedophile rings, and CEOs all over the world? Palladian Council.
Invader Diz.
One of the reasons...
Oh man, I thought she was going to be fun, but now she's talking about 5G and anti-vaxxing. Why can't we just have fun, high-concept space reporting? Yeah, it's a shame.
Why we have allowed this to take place is so that we have a clear time to act. We have slowly been building up to this by warning many of these individuals many times that they can no longer conduct business the way that they have been. The system on Earth has been corrupt for a while, and this new paradigm will no longer allow it to continue. Me. What are the best things for all of us to do at this moment in time? Counsel. Stay calm. Be prepared with supplies. But ultimately, consciously working on yourself and going within is the best place to be. Many people all over the planet are constantly watching the news and allowing this to threaten their own lives and vibration. This is a test to everyone to raise their vibration beyond...
You gotta protect your vibration. You gotta get Reynolds wrap. You gotta wrap yourself up in it. You gotta preserve that vibration, folks. It's where your energy comes from.
This attack. Me. What are all of you doing within the Galactic Federation to help us with this or to oversee this event that's currently happening? Council. We are sending out massive waves of high vibrational frequency for the collective to help mitigate the low vibrations coming from all of the fear within the individuals.
Of course, fear is a low vibration as opposed to happiness, which is a high frequency vibration for some reason. Right.
We are not assisting individuals at this moment because everyone is currently needing to choose their own fate. We are also diligently working to gather star councils on the planet in order to do grid work for Mother Gaia. We have all of our own troops within the planet Earth who are taking...
Gaia also real? Aliens are real, but Gaia, Earth Mother, is also a real physical being? That's interesting.
Taking down massive amounts of dark forces and shadow governments. Me. What?
She was taking notes, Bumble Homestead. She took notes as she was asking questions.
What is the positive take on all of this? How is all of this helping the collective? Council. There needed to be a big collective event like this for many reasons. Think about this as a similar to global disclosure of ET in extraterrestrial life.
God, what is it? I don't know what this lotion smells like, but it smells really good.
Instead of leaving a bad taste in the mouths of people about us, it needed to be something completely unrelated, but also force them to isolate from others. Everyone is being forced to choose fear and distraction over hope.
How is she able to take notes while astral projecting? Skills. Her skills. It's like citrusy, I think. Yeah, it's kind of what it smells like a grapefruit or like a very tame orange.
And positivity. This is also a mass cover for many operations currently taking place, like the reset of the global political, sociological, economic, and environmental realms. The majority of the individuals crossing over, are actually at a lower vibrational frequency and were not meant to be on the planet moving forward. This is a massive purging of old frequencies, including many of the deep shadow states. The dark side has no idea that the Galactic Federation has been overseeing this and working with this for many, many years, ever since the virus was developed, and even beyond that. Me. When will we see a resolve, and what does that outcome look like? Council. The answers to these questions are completely infinite, which means that there's an infinite number of possible realities, and it's really hard to say.
So they can see the future, but it's not a deterministic future. It's a future that allows you to have free will and do different things within the framework. Okay. Fine, I guess.
There are many potential realities, of course. Things should be getting...
All right. I'm over the Galactic
Things
Federation.
should be, in a sense, currently calm. And have more calm in your heart. That's so easy.
You know what I feel? The last things we're gonna do today, we're gonna find my favorite conspiracy theorist, Hans Wormhat. The man with 1,000 conspiracy theories, each crazier than the last. What do you think, folks? What do you think? Some Hans Wormhat? Yikers. You're surrounded by pedos. People who aren't people. Let's see people who aren't people.
December 2019. So, talking about sports figures from history...
Why does Hans Wormhat sound like this in this video? Did he use a voice thing or something?
Got me thinking, well, in addition to famous athletes that were famous for 4 years, or maybe 2 years, or even 10 minutes, and then promptly got memory hold as far as most people are concerned. How about other than microphone,
This
and then
isn't
having...
Hans. I don't want to see no fucking guest video. Why Leo has no movies coming out in 2020?
Hans Wormhat. This video's a collection of a few different things, but mostly I just want to show these. I stumbled upon these images. These are pretty recent images of Leo. And look at that. Leo is pregnant. I don't know if they're going to come out with some sort of story about Leo having a child in the future.
For those of you who haven't caught my earlier streams, Hans Wormhat is big into transvestigations, and what that is it's a branch of conspiracy theories that say that a bunch of celebrities are secretly transgender. So when he says Leo is pregnant here, what he's saying is Leonardo DiCaprio is secretly a trans man who still has a uterus and vagina and has become pregnant, and they are hiding it for some reason, and not just, you know, this is an unflattering photo, or Leo's gained some weight. Clearly, it must be that he's pregnant.
Future, or I think a lot of these celebs do surrogacies for other people. And I mean, look at that. Leo is pregnant. These people have access to the greatest nutritionists and chefs, personal, you know, trainers.
Yeah, people still get fat sometimes. It's fine.
They would never look like that. Leo would never look like that. It just doesn't make sense. They would have so many opportunities available to make sure that their body never ends up looking like that. But Leo's pregnant.
Maybe he wants a piece of cake, and he said a little bit too much. Leo is also in his 50s. People let themselves go eventually. He's looked good most of his life. He can afford to have an extra piece of cake. Leo, you do you. Do what you gotta do. What's eating Gilbert Grape? More like what's Gilbert Grape eating? Heyo!
It's just a strange image with the steps over here. They love having ladders in the background or steps, doing the steps. Leo is certainly doing the steps right here. Taking a big step up in masonry. Doing this FTM pregnancy for who knows what. And like I said, a lot of these times they're just surrogates. Some of these FTM are just breeders. Rob Kardashian, probably just popping out child after child after child. With a straight, flat back. I mean, it's crazy how obvious it is when you know that they're all inverted. It's just, when you know the secret, it's so obvious. But yeah, Leo looking pregnant. Doing the 666 hand sign here too. Covering up. Looking pregnant. Yes. Of course. So why do I even still do videos like this? The only reason I do videos like this is because nobody else is out there doing videos like this. Why hasn't anybody picked up on Pregvestigation? The FTM clearly get pregnant. They've disclosed that. Somebody just recently sent me an email with a link to a Facebook post of somebody openly showing their FTM pregnancy photos.
Yeah. Yep. Because trans men who still have uteruses, cervixes, and vaginas, and ovaries can still get pregnant. Yep.
It's very common. Happens in your day-to-day life.
I wouldn't say it's very common. It's a thing that happens, but it's usually kind of a big deal when it happens. Like, people take photos of it, and they're in magazines and stuff because it's an interesting thing. Thank you, David Gorno, for following.
Certain that it was an FTM pregnancy. Just based off, they'll give you clues. They'll post photos of the really skinny Strat in the hospital, and the caption will be something like, "Oh, it still doesn't feel real." Something like, "It doesn't feel like this actually happened." They'll be throwing devil horns. Duping delight. The FTM get really fat.
So, real pregnancies are a conspiracy, and when someone gets fat, it's a secret pregnancy. That makes sense. Yikers. What else do we got? A zebra is a stripy horse. I mean, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there, Hans.
With stripes on top and underneath and on his left and right. A zebra is a stripy horse and his stripes are black and white. The horse and zebra look alike. There is a stripy horse, his stripes are too hard to tell.
What the fuck? God damn it. I need a video of you talking, Hans. Stop teasing me. Let me look at his most popular. Oh, this is under most popular. Zealotry of Scientism, Secret Explained, she's about Nikki tutorials. Backup channel. Does he have more videos on this one? You made a whoopsie, Hans.
Hans Wormhat, send this video to people who believe in great whites. Great whites are probably the biggest hoax of the ocean, I would say, and it's just a fake spook animal that they have to try to make you afraid of the ocean, and they love to get people to believe in fantastical things. They love to create reality.
Okay, but like, people aren't necessarily afraid of the ocean because of sharks. People still swim in the ocean. People still sail on boats. People go on cruises. People go places in the ocean. Even though there are sharks, because sharks aren't really that dangerous to humans. Jaws was a popular movie, and that made popular consciousness kind of shift to think, oh, sharks are man-eaters, when really that's not held up by the data. Humans kill a ridiculous number of sharks, and sharks don't kill very many people at all. But apparently Hans thinks this is all a conspiracy to keep us out of the oceans. Just like Mark Sargent thinks the reason the ocean is salty is to keep us from sailing far? I don't know.
And just because people see thing on a screen, they think it's real. They think it's real life. How many of you have seen a great white in real life? I'm guessing none of you.
I mean, you can see them, though. You can see them. Like, you can go to specific things and... Hold on. Here are a ton of pictures of great white sharks. And if you think photos are too easy to doctor, there's a ton of videos.
I am no stranger amongst the shallows. Stand up. In the water. are calculated and
There's
precise.
one.
The torpedo shape of their body allows the great white to accelerate up to speeds of, get this, 35 miles an hour and strike with a force of 29 Gs.
I can't believe I'm actually showing you videos to be like, great white sharks exist. Like, yeah, I know you guys know. I know you guys know. Where's the video I was just watching? There we go.
They don't keep these in aquariums. They'll make up a million excuses.
Railcast. I've seen a great white Railcast. Part of the
truth is that
conspiracy
they're just not real
confirmed.
animals. It's a fantasy. It's like a werewolf, except for people know werewolves aren't real. But great whites, it's just a scary animal that they tell you about, but it's not real. It's CGI. So this is something that you need to wake up to when it comes to nature documentaries. They are produced. It's produced footage. How do they get all this footage? Go to Google and type in great white sharks. Okay, how many people do you know who have had one-on-one interactions with great white sharks? All right, go to Google and type in great white and look at how many images there are, just like this. How many people are sitting there scuba diving, ready to take photos like this?
They're probably nature photographers, very specifically going to take pictures of sharks. There are tons of documentaries on sharks. Discovery Channel has a whole week dedicated to sharks. It's called Shark Week. I think it's this month.
Thousands and thousands? Why are the photos of great whites, orangutans, why gorillas? We have thousands and thousands of high-quality produced images.
I'm only going for 10 more minutes, by the way. I'm gonna quick go through some of these and just look at some of the funny ones. I mean, they're all funny, but you know what I mean. 10-ish more minutes left in the stream. You mean Fake Week? Yep, that one.
Hans Wormhat, this video is mostly aimed at people who are awake to the truth, they know about the truth, and it's been a few years now. Most people woke up in 2017. Something big happened in 2017. Their magic spell was broken. I really have no explanation for it, other than God directly intervening and lifting the veil on some people. And there's a lot of people out there that know about these truths, and that's it. I mean, they log on
he
to
thinks orangutans and gorillas are fake too.
They
He also thinks toucans are fake, and zebras.
go watch the latest Transpocalypse video or Epic Sellouts video, make a few comments, I guess, and then what? Is that it? Maybe some people talk about posting on Facebook. Yeah, that's something, I guess. But why aren't Hans Wormhat, this is another short video just with the idea of you should send this video to people who believe in outer space, who believe in NASA. I have a few videos here, but they should be very quick. That should make you start doubting things.
Welcome to the stream, Apollo 8192. There's only about 8 minutes left in it, but I hope you enjoyed this last 8 minutes.
Don't doubt them. And one thing people ask sometimes about, well, what do you think stars are if they're not hot balls of gas? Which I always like to bring up. Hot air is like lying. When people are speaking a bunch of hot air, they're just making stuff up and lying. And it's kind of a joke when they say, and it's like a fart joke, all these outer space things are just big balls of...
Big brain on Hans over here. Stars are a conspiracy. It's just a fart joke.
Gas. Allegedly. But that's not reality. Stars twinkle. And they twinkle fast. How is something that's so, allegedly, so far away, and it's just this big ball of gas? They don't look like that when you go outside, and...
Because they're far away. Because they're very far away, Hans.
Stars, when you observe them, you'll notice there's different... It's like there's 3 different layers of stars. You got the really bright, close ones that you can see easily with your naked eye. And then you got the ones that are very easy to see when you just have a pair of binoculars.
It's almost like stars are different distances away from the Earth. Weird.
And then there's like the little fainter ones beyond that. It really doesn't...
Welcome to the stream, Pseudo-Sapien. You like my tinfoil? Thank you.
...look like we're suspended in 3-dimensional space with these balls all a bunch of varying random distances from us. No, it's like there's the foreground layer, and then kind of a middle layer, and then like a background layer.
Yeah, because stars are different distances away from us. Because they're in space!
It's optical. I think it could be something like this, like crystals. Like there's giant crystals inside the firmament that slowly rotate. It's like the firmament slowly spins around us. I do not believe that we move. Not at all. The Earth is flat and unmoving.
The stars have layers, just like onions, just like ogres! Yep.
And the Bible is very specific about that. The Bible is flat and unmoving. It doesn't... There's no other explanation in the Bible besides flat and unmoving, and there's no mention of outer space fantasy land at all. And so...
Yeah, because the Bible was written in the Bronze Age. They didn't know what space was.
So it just makes me so upset whenever I see people coming from religious angles trying to push NASA outer space land. There's nothing in the Bible. You would think that if Earth was one among billions of other worlds, there would be some sort of mention of it.
It's almost like the Bible isn't an accurate source of information. Information on truth about the universe. How weird!
And here we are. So there is this idea, I'll just throw it out there because people talk about it. Well, maybe the stars are angels, people say.
Who says that? Who says stars are angels? Unless you're talking to a 3-year-old.
Stars are entities. I think there could be something to that in video games all the time. Here's just an example of a game I would always play. There is this idea of people, or maybe they don't have a physical body, but there's some sort of person stuck inside of a crystal. That's just a theme that we see over and over again in the media, where
I'm not
Harry Potter
going
does
talk,
it, right?
says my grandma says the stars are angels to my kid cousins. Yikes.
It's just something that comes to mind. Jude chapter 1 verse 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation.
It's a common revelation based on, or it's a common
unto the judgment
interpretation
of the
based
great
on
day.
revelation.
It's possible.
Yikers.
I know that there's a lot of mentions that talk about angels and demons and things being punished by being strapped down in like hell, chained down underground. I can't find it right now, but maybe it's in the book
I'm
of
going
Enoch,
with the
which
they
has a
might
lot of
be
questionable
giants
things.
route.
But
the sun is a mass of incandescent gas, and it's something nuclear furnace, with hydrogen and helium, and it burns at millions of degrees. It's been a long time since I heard that song, so I'm butchering it.
I thought I had read mentions of beings being locked away to the darkness of the void forever, and that just reminds me more of like the heavens being trapped up there. And we see just a lot of stuff in the media about, oh, Orion is some person that was locked up into stars in the sky, and Orion does really look like a person. And just think of all the shapes there. We really do have shapes, and it puts a whole new...
Yeah, because people find patterns in things. I could have, for instance, let's just say I had a bunch of marbles. I have 300 marbles, and I just throw them and roll them across the floor completely randomly. You and I could stand there above the marbles, let's say we get up on a ladder and look at them from the top down, and we could try and come up with patterns in the way that the marbles are laying on the floor if we drew imaginary lines between certain marbles. But that doesn't mean that those patterns are intended. It means that human beings are constantly, the way our cognition works, we're looking for patterns in things, because pattern recognition is a good survival strategy. If you know, hey, something rustling over in the trees there tends to lead to something jumping out and trying to kill you, that's good for your survival strategy, even if occasionally it's the wind. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense.
Meaning on things when you understand that those shapes didn't arise randomly. Orion doesn't look like a hunter for no reason.
It doesn't look like a hunter, though, outside of the fact that humans interpret it to look like that. You understand? It's not literally a hunter. In fact, if you were to look at the stars with a lens that could, or you turned up the luminosity really high, you'd be able to see other stars behind that. It's just that with our naked eye, those are the stars we can see, and we say, oh, that kind of looks like a hunter. The same way you can sit under the clouds and say, oh, that cloud looks like an elephant. That cloud looks like a monkey, whatever. The cloud isn't literally shaped to look like that intentionally. Our brains look for pictures and things.
God made it that way, and it probably would.
There's definitely a sloth head shape in the grain of my cabinet, but it wasn't put there by the sloth god. Speaking of which, Hans Wormhat also doesn't believe in sloths.
It's supposed to look like that. It's just very interesting. Yeah. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14, and no
It's 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. Jesus.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed, the trans word, transformed into an angel of light. So it's possible that the stars are angels in some way.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in sloths. He thinks that they're too slow to actually have evolved and, like, not be killed. Does he think any animals exist? The ones that are mentioned in the Bible, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about other than that.
Anyways, you can... This is just from Revelation. I'm not going to read it. So this is talking about wormwood. Wormwood is a star that they say will fall to Earth. Well, the heavens are going to open up like a scroll. And I've had this thought before where it's kind of... They talk about end times being related to giving birth. Well, giving birth, you have the breaking
Didn't
of...
Trump make that mistake with 2 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians? He did. Yes, he did.
The waters at the beginning of giving birth. When the heavens open up, when the firmament unrolls like a scroll, there's waters above, so it's going to be like the waters breaking. And then, you know, the sky is falling, That'll probably really happen. And wormwood is going to fall down and poison the waters. And they kind of describe it like what NASA would show us as a meteor. Right, burning as it were a lamp. A great star is going to fall from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it's going to fall in water, a water source somewhere, and poison the waters. And so that means the things that are up there in the heavens, it's probably something that's like water soluble. It's probably some crazy crystal and some mineral, something. And I've just had this thought, I wonder if wormwood is connected in any way to Betelgeuse. The star Betelgeuse has been acting really, really weird lately. It's been not giving its light. And that's just something that doesn't make sense with NASA timescales. If you go look into the variance of stars, the brightness of stars, if with these NASA timescales, we shouldn't be having these really short cycles of brightening.
They're not NASA timescales. They're scientific cosmological timescales. NASA is not the only space organization on Earth. There are astrophysicists all around the globe.
And then dimming, and then Betelgeuse is now dimming like crazy. Very quickly, very, very, very quickly, on timescales that don't make any sense.
Let's see. I don't know how to spell the star Betelgeuse, but I'm going to give it a shot. Let's butcher it together, shall we? Betelgeuse. Prior to its dying explosion, the star expected to dim rapidly before spectacularly lighting up the sky here on Earth, although Betelgeuse does have variable brightness. Its recent dimming was far deeper than any observed prior. Between September 2019 and January 2020, it dimmed by 25%. So it's understandable that people have been getting a bit excited. Now, instead of the fireworks display that we were all hoping we'd get to see in our lifetimes, even if it was unlikely, Betelgeuse appears to be simply returning to a more normal brightness level with timing that's consistent with the star's variable cycle. Photometry secured over the last 2 weeks shows that Betelgeuse has stopped its large decline in delta V of 1 mag relative to September 2019, astronomers wrote in Astronomer's Telegram. Based on the additional observations, Betelgeuse has definitely stopped dimming and has started to slowly brighten. Thus, this fainting episode is over, but additional photometry is required to define the brightness phase. The big question remains, what caused the dimming? Possibilities are being investigated by astronomers. One of these is cooling on the stellar surface. Something really strange could be happening in Betelgeuse for this to occur, but it's not impossible. Another is a giant dust cloud being ejected from the star towards us. The stars on the red giant branch create and eject vast amounts of material long before they go supernova, and infrared images show Betelgeuse surrounded by plumes of dust. You can see them in the image above. The black disk blocks the star, a region about the size of the orbit of Jupiter. Both of these explanations would be consistent with the asymmetry of the dimming seen in images obtained in December 2019. Dust may sound a bit like a wizard did it for space, but if the profile fits. So basically it ejected some stuff into space, they think, and it blocked some of the light, causing it to appear dimmer to us.
For NASA Fantasyland timescales.
Yes, of course. As always, it's just what they want you to think.
Where everything is supposed to happen really, really slow. But That's not how reality works. Betelgeuse is beginning very, very dim. And that is end times prophecy, that the stars will stop giving their light. And I guess I'll just say this. This video is turning out to be a little bit longer than normal, or than I intended, but that's okay. And just all the stars, when you go out at night, it doesn't seem the same. You used to be able to see more stars with the naked eye. And I don't think it has anything to do with light pollution. It really just seems like you can see a lot less stars with your naked eye. Now, when I go outside at night, it's like I only see the big constellation stars.
Yeah, that's called light pollution. It's an actual major problem for astronomers. There's so much light on Earth now from cities that it becomes incredibly difficult to actually see the stars through that, which is why atmospheric telescopes, stuff like Hubble, are very important.
That like first layer of stars, that's like all I see with my naked eye, and then with binoculars I can see the other stars.
Yeah.
You used to be able
Light
to see
pollution.
way more stars just with your eyes.
You can still go into the desert and see them. There are people who do go out and they do stargazing in areas very far away from civilization, specifically to get away from the light pollution.
Okay, so this is shaky footage, but this is what the stars really look like. And notice it looks like the bottom of a pool. It looks like the images that you see when you look at the bottom of a pool with light being shown on the bottom of the pool. Look, it looks exactly like light at the bottom of a pool. It's just twinkling, different colors. And it's not out of focus. This footage is not out of focus. It's not fuzzy at all.
It looks pretty fuzzy.
Clear image. And it looks exactly like light being shown at the bottom of a pool.
Where is he even getting this from? What is this from? Oh, there's not even a description. Of course there isn't.
Another thing that you should look into is comets look exactly like flashlights being shown underwater. That's what comets look like. They look like a flashlight being shown underwater. What do you...
No, it doesn't. Oh, is he saying because it looks like it's like a flashlight face over here, and then the comet's tail looks like it's shining a light? Oh, Hans, no, Hun, no, that's not what that is. That's the tail of the comet. And it's going that direction. Yikes. Oh, this poor guy. Oop, wrong one.
You know, the Bible talks about waters above, waters below.
No, tripods are deep state lies. You can't get a tripod, goddammit.
You can really see the waters above. I believe that's what you're seeing when you're seeing this. You're seeing a projected image. I know that people like to make fun of this, talk about, oh, the moon is a hologram. It is a hologram.
God damn it. There it is. The moon is a hologram. Fuck me. I didn't think we were gonna get that one today. Where is it? Oh, holographic sky sun, but not moon. I'm gonna count that one anyway, because he's talking about the moon being a hologram. I think that falls upon the category of celestial bodies being holograms, okay? God, I still don't have a bingo.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Thank you, the Comrade Snake, for following. Much appreciated.
Just like how a rainbow is a hologram. Everybody has their own rainbow. You can't go touch a rainbow. In the same way, the moon, you can't touch it. You cannot land there.
Oh, did I miss the flat Earth one? He didn't. I think this is specific about the buoyancy and how gravity doesn't exist, so it's not just flat Earth. It's flat Earth buoyancy, which is the thing Hans does talk about, but he hasn't talked about in this video. Because he claims gravity doesn't exist. The reason we fall down is because we're being pushed down by buoyancy caused by air pressure. Which, of course, is bullshit.
You cannot land on the moon. It's a light in the sky, and it's a projected image. You cannot get past the firmament, so you can't get into the heaven.
Oh, did I miss the 5G one, too? Yep. Damn. How could I have this many marked off and still not have a fucking bingo? That's a shame.
To the heavens, yet. And you most certainly cannot land on a light in the sky. Same way, you are not looking at a physical object here. Clearly this is not a ball of gas, a ball of hot air really far away. It's flat. All of these images that we get are flat. If there's any curvature to it, it's just optical. Go look at binocular images that look like planets. Anyways, it's real footage right there. Look, it's the bottom of a pool. I'm gonna end with this. This is the one video.
Oh, is he recording this like via, well, he's recording his voice and screen capturing like his iPhone?
If you are trying to send this to somebody with a really short attention span, okay, just timestamp the video for right here. This is straight out of NASA, and it is so laughable. You remember that whole story? I remember this a lot because they were doing this when I was in school. So I remember they showed us so many cartoon images of, oh, this is what Curiosity is going to do. It's going to come in on this UFO looking thing, and they're going to do the burn, and then there's going to be some sort of strap, like these straps that let down the thing. And I remember even thinking when it was going on, wow, this seems like really overly complicated. And
yeah, rocketry is difficult. It is difficult.
It's just something that you kind of forget about. And when I first started doubting the NASA stuff, I started looking into flat Earth. This was one of the first things I went to. Oh, what about that wacky Curiosity thing? I wonder, you know, they must have some proof of that landing system working. Here we go. It speaks for itself. Look at all the ladders in the background. On the right, the orange ladder put up, it does a pyramid with a capstone, if you look at it. And it's just one of their symbols of masonry.
Ladders are... A-frame ladders, specifically, are part of the conspiracy. But what about this one? This one is not an A-frame ladder. It's just one that goes up against a wall. So this ladder is specifically a stand-in for a Freemason capstone. This one's just for getting up and down.
Look at all the ladders they have in the shot. Why didn't they go move that ladder? They want it there in the image on purpose. And orange. A lot of orange. Orange is 33. Okay, just... This speaks for itself. It really does.
A lot of orange. This is orange. This is red, not orange. This, I'd argue, is more yellow. I don't think that's orange. This is red. This is the only orange thing. Is Hans colorblind?
Look at all the orange.
I'm the rover verification and validation lead. My job is to run system-level tests on the rover structure to ensure it's capable of the requirements we have for Mars. Basically, for the Mars program, we build two rovers in parallel. One's the flight rover, and one's the test rover, or DTM. The main difference between the flight rover and the DTM rover is that the flight rover actually goes to Mars. Just recently, we ran a major test called the Sky Crane Full Motion Drop Test. This test is to check out the EDL sequence, or entry, descent, and landing sequence, for Curiosity. For the first time, we're going to be touching down on Mars.
This is what I saw in
just
school
the
all the time.
rover's wheels. So this is the sequence leading up to that touchdown on
I want to go to a school where they show you stuff about the Mars rover. I didn't get shown that.
Mars. Because this test is so important to the project, almost all of the team wanted to gather and watch the test. We actually projected it into multiple conference rooms around the lab so that everyone could have access to this very large milestone for our project.
Test is commencing. So much duping delight too.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Woo! I don't understand what he finds laughable about this. It's a system to let it descend without destroying it. What's funny about this?
Go NASA! Everybody clap, please.
Go NASA.
The reason we do all this testing is to prove that what we think is going to happen actually will happen when Curiosity gets to Mars, and that we really understand the dynamics of these vehicles. During this test, everything behaved as expected. We were able to collect all of the data and instrumentation that we were hoping for. So overall, definitely a huge success.
Incredulity isn't an argument, Hans. If you have an issue with what you've seen, articulate it in a way that can be explained to others. Just going, that's not an argument. You just look like a jackass.
So,
and this has been your Building Curiosity update.
So you believe that they could fly something all the way to Mars, and that's the system they got going, and they thought that that was a great success.
Yeah?
It is so laughable.
Why is it laughable? Articulate your argument. Articulate it.
God bless everybody.
That's it. Okay. Jesus. Hans. I want to get Hans on here to talk someday. I really do. I want to talk to Hans Wormhat. I gotta figure out if he's for real. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the first ever TinFoil Tuesday. This is going to be happening every Tuesday for the foreseeable future. It's going to be a day of all conspiracy theories. So if you have any to send me at any point during the week, my Twitter is at Hannah Reloaded, or you can whisper them to me on here. Tomorrow I'll be back to stream again, but that won't be... I might throw in a couple conspiracy theories or something because I think they're fun, but it'll be more stuff like the quartering and the MGTOW people and red pill people and making fun of them. So yeah, thank you everyone. You can always follow me on Twitter at Hannah Reloaded. You can follow me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel with all my archive streams called just Hannah Reloaded. You can find it as the same icon as I have for this channel on Twitch, which is my D&D character. You can follow me on YouTube at Hannah and Jake, which is a channel I do with Jake. I assume all of you know that, but I figure in case there's one or two people who only know me from Twitch, that'd be great. You can always donate to anything that's below this. Subscribe, follow, and I hope y'all have a good night. Stay safe, everyone, especially if you're in an area affected by all the crazy stuff going on. Stay safe out there, and not in the tinfoil ironic, funny way, in the genuine, be safe way. I really hope y'all have a good night. See you guys tomorrow.